Go here. Hopefully we're live. I am unable to tell from my end.
Implementing an engagement survey are really
That's not it. I think that's confirming that I'm live. Yes. All right, I'm live. Hello, everyone. I'll give it a minute for everything to come on through. Because we got a doozy. I'm not sure how many people will be joining us on this excursion of ours, but we do have a bit of a thing that we're going to be doing today. Hello, everyone. Welcome. How dare I be a minute late? You're right. It was my fault. My problem. God damn it, right? I'm late. You don't even fucking speak. He doesn't even talk, you know? Pisses me off. Annoys me. Hello, everyone. Oh, thank you. You forgive me. I appreciate it. Yes. So I'm going to do a poll because I'm curious how many people have actually read the 36 lessons of Vivec. So we're going to do a little poll. Have you read the 36 lessons of Vivec? And I'll explain exactly what the fuck I'm doing. Question mark, and I gotta capitalize Vivec because I'm not a fucking heretic. Yes. No. And then I'm add. Actually, no option. I'm just a single yes or no. We'll start that poll. We'll see if it works. Hey, there we go. It popped up. Hey! All right, so we'll see. We got 3 votes. I'll vote myself. Nope. Wait, that's going to open in web browser. I'm not good with that. I'm too lazy. Never even heard of it before this last live stream. Interesting. Yeah, this is Morrowind era shit. This is some Morrowind stuff. Let me also check. Let me edit my video just to make sure. I should probably go to edit videos. Manage videos. I need to check something on my end. There we go. All right, something's good on my end. That's good. You know, I seen the thumbnail. Like I placed the live right next to where it says live. Didn't need to do that. I did not need to add that live symbol. All right. So I think that we've done it long enough. So I am going to now explain what the hell is going on. What the hell this video is. So for those that don't know, in Morrowind, which is what my whole channel is themed after, the Dunmer of Morrowind. Wait, am I able to end the close? I can close the poll. Okay. So yeah. I am themed after the Dunmer of Morrowind. And in Morrowind, there are 3 gods, the living gods, at least during the time of Morrowind in the 3rd era. You had Almalexia, you had Sothisil, and you had Vivec, the living gods. And one of these gods, Vivec, basically wrote a series of lessons, or basically like a Bible, so to speak. The 36 lessons of Vivec. And I have never actually read any of them. I've read like 2 or 3, and I know some shit that happens between Vivec and Molag Bal. But for the most part, I don't know it. I've never actually read it. And I decided, I thought about it during the last live stream. I'm like, you know what? I want to do some interesting stuff. So I have 2 ideas that aren't just playing a game. It's this and also using AI chatbot. I don't like AI that much, but you wouldn't believe the shit, the AI shit that they've come up with. So yeah, I'm very excited for those things. And I'm very excited for this one because I'm very interested to learn about the 36 lessons of Vivec. So let me just look at something real quick on my end. There we go. All right. So let me close the poll. Let's see what the No. All right, 95% no, something along those lines. That's fair. That's fair. That's very fair. So maybe you'll be interested in listening to me reading it. Maybe not. There will be some things that I probably won't be able to say out loud because, it's fucking YouTube and it's the internet. So there are some things I'll probably avoid. So I will be going from that's not it. I will be going from this, and then the second we start to get into some more heavy shit, I'll just be reading it via my camera. So yeah, and if any of you like know this and are able to like warn me in advance, that'd be cool. If not, I hope I don't get demonetized. That would be annoying. So yeah, I think there is nothing left else to do aside from reading it, which I am now going to do. So we have it all here. And now we're going to be reading it. Yeah, we need this shit monetized, Dominator. All right, so let me move that. That wasn't it. No. There we go. Click the wrong thing. There we go. Okay, let's move that over here. And then we are going to have this over here. And now we are going to be reading. So, kick back, relax, and listen to me learn about the 36 lessons of Vivec. And maybe you'll learn something too. Also, whenever it comes to like certain things, like for example, the war with the Northern Men, I'll click on this so I can understand like maybe what it is. Like if I get like confused about anything, like hey, who's Fa Nui 10? We can look and hey, that's Fa Nui 10 from ESO, from fucking what was it? It was the orc Rothgar, the Rothgar DLC. So yeah. With all that being said, we're gonna get into it. He was born in the ash among the Valathi, a non-chimer, before the war with the Northern Men. Am came first to the village of the Nechaman, and her shadow was that of Boethia, who was the prince of plots. And things unknown and known would fold themselves around her until they were like stars or the messages of stars. Am took a Nechaman's wife and said, I am the face-snaked queen of the 3-in-1. In you is an image and a 7-syllable spell, Am a Seti a Vec, which you will repeat until mystery comes. Then Am threw the Nechaman's wife into the ocean, where dregs, which are the water things, dregs took her into castles of glass and coral. They gifted the Nechaman's wife with gills and milk fingers, changing her sex so that she might give birth to the image as an egg. There she stayed for 7 or 8 months. Then Set came to the Nechaman's wife and said, I am the clockwork king of the 3-in-1. In you is an egg of my brother's sister, who possesses invisible knowledge of words and swords, which you shall nurture until the Holtatol comes, who is Lord Indoril Nerevar. And Set then extended his hands, and multitudes of homunculi, fabricants, come forth, each like a glimmering rope through the water, and they raised the Nechaman's wife back to the surface, whirled and set her down on the shoals of Azura's coast. There she lay for 7 or 8 more months, caring for the egg knowledge by whispering to it the codes of Mephala, and the prophecies of Veloth, and even the forbidden teachings of Trinimac. 7 Daedra came to her one night, and each one gave to the egg new motions that could be achieved by certain movements of the bones. These are the barons of move like this. Then an 8 Daedroth came, and he was a demi-prince called Fa Nui 10, or the multiplier of motions known. And Fa Nui 10 said, Whom do you wait for? To which the Nechaman's wife said, The Hortator. Go to the land of Indoril in 3 months' time, for that is when war comes. I return now to haunt the warriors who fell, and still wonder why. But first I show you this. Then the barons and the demi-prince joined together into a pillar of fighting styles, terrible to behold, and they danced before the egg and its learning image. Look, little Vec, and find the face behind the splendor of my bladed carriage. For in it is delivered the unmixed conflict path, perfect in every way. What is its number? It is said the number is the number of birds that can nest in the ancient Tribble tree. Tribble tree is known, we'll figure it out that later. Less 3 grams of honest work. But Vivec in his later years found a better one and so gave this secret to his people. For I have crushed a world with my left hand, he will say, but in my right hand is how it could have won against me. Love is under my will only. The ending of the words is Almsivi. So yeah, that was interesting. So homunculi, Set extended his hands, and multitudes of homunculi came forth. Homunculi being the fabricants. Okay, so basically mechanized creatures created by Sothesil. And the barons who move like this are basically... Fonui 10 is in the key art for the Scions of Ithelia. Wait, really? I'll need to watch. Oh, yeah. Yeah. They are. I'll need to play that DLC at some point. That's, so we don't... The barons who move like this are basically just Daedric lords, I believe. So, yeah. So, basically, what's happening in the chat? This is better than the Bible. Morrowind waters are terrifying. Great line. Reminds me of the Similarian, but like 10 times weirder. I don't know what the Similarian is, but I'll probably need to look at that. So yeah, so basically this is the birth, I assume, of Vivec. And how Vivec came from the egg of a Nechiman's wife. What is a Nechiman, actually? I'm curious what that is. Elder Scrolls Nechiman. Can't type. The Nechiman's lament. What is a Nechiman? That's what I'm curious about. I guess they're like those that take care of Netch images. Yeah, I guess they're just individuals that care for Netches. And Vivec came birth. Netch Hunter? That could be one too. It could be someone that hunts Netches. Could be someone that takes care of them because you can breed Netches. All right. Now we're on to Sermon 2. And these won't be as long. Some of them are long, but some of them are also like quite short, especially when you get to like here. It'll get short. This stuff, yeah, especially like Sermon 21, they get very, very short. All right. The Nechiman's wife who carried the egg of Vivec within her. Ooh, wait. Who carried the egg of Vivec within her. Okay, so if it's... So within the Nechiman's wife, I guess the egg is basically like the egg, like the female egg that women carry until like birth or that shit. So I'm guessing it's not an actual egg, so to speak. It is like Vivec gave birth to like a woman, the Nechiman's wife. We'll find out. And also, so the Nechiman's wife, that's another thing. So the Nechiman's wife, my brother and sister, there's this sex change. Am threw the Nechiman's wife into the water. They gifted the Nechiman's wife with gills and milk fingers, changing her sex so that she might give birth to the image as an egg. So the Nechiman's wife could have been a guy? This is difficult to understand. But I guess like the Nechiman's wife was once the Nechiman's husband. and then became female and gave birth, and then carried the egg or carried the womb of Vivec, which could be it. Symbolism everywhere. Yeah, so it's more like symbolism and metaphors and shit like that. Peak Michael Kirkbride, hell yeah. Anyone else hear homunculi and think of FMA? I have no idea what that is. There's a lot of stuff that I have no idea. I don't know like what inspired Michael Kirkbride for a lot of this stuff. All right. Now let's read Sermon 2. The Netchman's wife who carried the egg of Vivec within her went looking for the lands of the Indoril. So that is, so that's their territory. Along the journey, many spirits came to see her and offer her instructions to her son-daughter, the future glorious invisible warrior poet of Vardenfell, Vivec. The first spirit threw his arms about her and hugged his knowledge in tight. The Netchman's wife became soaked in the incalculable effort. The egg was delighted and did somersaults inside her, bowing to the 5 corners of the world, saying, "Thus whoever performs this holy act shall be proud and mighty among the rest." The second spirit was too aloof and acted above his station, so much that he was driven off by a headache spell. The third spirit, At Khatur, came down to the Netchman's wife while she relaxed for a while under an emperor parasol. His garments were made from implications of meaning, and the egg looked at them 3 times. The first time Vivec said, while still in the womb of the Netchman's wife, okay, "Ha! It means nothing." After looking a second time, he said, there might be something there after all. Finally, giving At Hatur's garments a sidelong glance, he said, "Amazing the ability to infer significance in something devoid of detail." "There is a proverb," At Hatur said, and then he left. The fourth spirit came with the fifth, for they were cousins. They could ghost touch and probed inside the egg to find its core. Okay. Some say Vivec at this point was shaped like a star within the penumbra broken off. Others that it looked like a revival of vanished forms. From my side of the family, the first cousin said, "I bring you a series of calamities that will bring about the end of the universe." And from my side, the second cousin said, "I bring you all the primordial marriages that must happen within them, each one." At this, the egg laughed, "I am given too much to bear so young. I must have been born before." Yeah, because Vivec isn't born yet. So Vivec must have been born before he is currently being born or something. And the sixth spirit appeared, the Black Hands of Mephala. Black Hands of Mephala, so like a cult of Mephala, who taught the Valathi at the beginning of days all the arts of sex and murder. Its burning heart melted the eyes of the Netchman's wife and took the egg from her belly with 6 cutting strokes. The egg image, however, could see into what it had been before in ancient times, when the earth still cooled and was not blinded. It joined with the Daedroth and took its former secrets. Daedroth being Fa Nui Ten, it could be, because Fa Nui Ten was described as a Daedroth. It joined with the Daedroth and took its former secrets, leaving a few behind to keep the web of the world from disentangling. Then the Black Hands Mephala put the egg back into the Netchman's wife and blew on her with magic breath until the hole closed up. Jesus. But the Daedroth did not give her back her eyes, saying, "God hath 3 keys, of birth, of machines, and of the words between. Alexius, Sothis, Seal, and Vivec, maybe. Within this sermon, the wise may find one half of these keys. The ending of the words is Sivi. So I have no idea what the fuck happened. No fucking clue what I just read here. So Daedra, I guess, just kind of had like a little chat with Vivec, ripped the womb from the Netchman's wife, had a chat with Vivec, and then put it back when they were done. I don't know who At-Hatur is. Nor do I know what the incalculable... I don't know what a lot of this stuff is. So yeah, I guess they just had like a little chat giving Vivec wisdom. And Vivec was overwhelmed by this wisdom and the fact that Vivec, not even born yet, could understand and fucking speak, giving him the revelation that he may have had another life, reincarnation. Sort of like the Nerevarine being the reincarnation of Nerevar, Indoril Nerevar. At least that's my assumption. Let me read chat because there's a lot of stuff happening. So this is Vivec's mother? I'm assuming so. What about, is Vivec like the prophet of Chaos Logar from Warhammer 40k? Who worshipped his father as a god despite his father outlawing all religion? I don't know much about 40k. I just know glory to the Emperor, so I'm not entirely sure. What you think Reachman and Scott? I don't know. At-Hatur sounds a lot like Hortator. That actually could be it, actually. At-Hatur could be actually the third spirit At-Hatur. So it... Yeah, oh, wait a second. So the third spirit At-Hatur could be like... I don't know what that would be, because like Nerevar Indoril existed, died, and then reincarnated as the Nerevarine. So could At-Hatur be the precursor to Nerevar Indoril? I have no fucking clue. I have no idea. Yeah. So we'll continue with the third sermon. Oh hell yeah, we get Boethia, my favorite. My Daedric prince. All right. Being blind, the Netchman's wife wandered into a cave on her way to the... Okay, so the Netchman's wife is blind. Who blinded the Netchman's wife? I'm trying to figure out, and was not blinded. Joined the Black Hands, put the blue on her with magic breath. But the Daedroth, so who's the Daedroth? I'm assuming the Daedroth is still Fa Nui 10. 33 more to go? Oh, hell yeah. So, Tator, a Redguard spirit. Yeah, actually, that could be, Elder Scrolls Redguard Atur. I think it is. Atur was a Redguard who was the son of the last High King of Hammerfell, King Thasad. Atur was, there's something about either he is the Hunding or Cyrus the Redguard. That could be it. I don't think it is. I think it might be more Nerevar Indoril, but that's an interesting theory. That could be. How can Daedra get married? Who legalizes the marriage? I think it's just ceremonial. I think it just is. But yeah, it could be the Red Guard King, the spirit who took on the Hunding, maybe. I might be looking at that wrong. So yeah, let's go on to Sermon 3. So I guess Fanui 10 still blinded the Netchman's wife, who is still blind. I saw a video called the Man-Mer Schism. I think it states Atatur is Nerevar. Okay. So the third spirit in this is Nerevar. I would not have come to that conclusion unless I did this live stream. So I'm actually glad that I did this. All right. Being blind, the Netchman's wife wandered into a cave on her way to the domains of House Indoril. It so happened that this cave was a Dwemeri stronghold. The Dwemeri spied the egg and captured the Netchman's wife. They bound her head to foot and brought her deep within the earth. So in a Dwemer ruin, or well, not ruin at this point in time, but yeah. She heard one say, "Go and make a simulacrum of her and place it back on the surface, for she has something akin to what we have, and so the Velothi will covet it, and notice if she is too long away." In the darkness, the Netchman's wife felt great knives try to cut her open. When the knives did not work, the Dwemer used solid sounds. When those did not work, great heat was brought to bear. Nothing was of any use, and the egg of Vivec remained safe within her. So the Dwemer were trying to cut open the Netchman's wife to take Vivec, to use the womb of Vivec for whatever purposes they wish, for experiments or what have you. And the Dwemer were a cruel race, so they probably would have tortured the womb of Vivec, just like they did the Falmer. A Dwemer said, "Nothing is of any use. We must go and misinterpret this." Vivec felt that his mother was afraid, and so consoled her. "The fire is mine, let it consume thee, and make a secret door at the altar of Padme, in the house of Boetia, where we become safe and looked after." This old prayer made the Netchman's wife smile and begin such a deep sleep that when Dwemeri Atronachs, Dwemer Kenturians, returned with cornered spheres and cut her apart, she did not awake and died peacefully. Vivec was removed from her womb and placed within a magical glass for further study. To confound his captors, he channeled his essence into love, an emotion the Dwemer knew nothing about. The egg said, "Love is used not only as a constituent in moods and affairs, but also as the raw material from which relationships produce hour-later exasperations, regrettably fashioned restrictions, riddled laced with affections known only to the loving couple, and looks that linger too long. Love is also an often used ingredient in some transparent verbal and nonverbal transactions, where eventually it can sometimes be converted to a variety of true devotions, some of which yield tough, insoluble, I don't know what that word is, and infusible unions. In its basic form, love supplies approximately 13 draughts of all energy that is derived from relationships. Its role and value in society at large are controversial. So Vivec is just talking about love. Okay, cool. The Dwemer were vexed at these words and tried to hide behind their power symbols. They sent their Atronachs to remove the egg image from their cave and place it within the simulacrum they had made of Vivec's mother. A Dwemer said, "We Dwemer are only aspirants to this that the Velothi have. They shall be our doom in this and the 8 known worlds, Nern, Lorcan, Arquette, Thendar, Kernet, Arcat, Mara, Junal. The secret to doom is within this sermon. The ending of the words is Sivi. So the Netchman's wife has died now, and the Dwemer took Vivec out of the Netchman's wife's womb. Insoluble means can't be dissolved. Okay, cool. Anyone who can do engineering cannot be loved. Goddamn. I know a few people with engineering degrees. You're on the mark there. Am I able to? No, I can't. I was hoping that I could remove the chat from over here so I could look over here, but never mind. I love love. You mean this, okay. Kind of rude of him to say Dwemer don't know how to love. I mean, the Dwemer are unique in the sense that the dullest of them makes, like, the dullest among the Dwemer are vastly intelligent. Basically, they're like annoying atheists in a sense, where they don't really give a fuck about anything else. They're just very, I don't know. But yeah, so it does seem like, but the Dwemer are a cruel race. Again, look at what the Dwemer did to the Falmer. How the Falmer removed the eyes of the Snow Elves, and leading to them to their leading whatever happened, the poison, because not only did the Dwemer blind the Falmer, but they poisoned them, and this poison seeped into their ancestors, and now this is what happened to the Falmer, as you can see here, as you can see all through here. So they are a cruel race. They're not good. They're not evil in a sense. I wouldn't say that they're evil, but they're basically a product of their circumstances, which is incredibly vast intelligence and wanting to push the envelope, to innovate more and more and more, and they don't really care about ethics and stuff like that. So the idea that the Dwemer cannot love does make sense, I would say. I did not realize how philosophical this video was going to be, but yeah, I should have guessed that this shit was gonna happen. We were gonna get very philosophical about the Dwemer, about the concept of love. I'm gonna come into my romanticism class Monday with like a whole new outlook on life, and I'm gonna like fucking own that class. So yeah, all right. Sermon. Wait, okay, so I'm curious. Okay, so they shall be our doom in this and 8 known worlds. This secret to doom is within this sermon. The fire's mine, let it consume thee, and make a secret door at the altar of Padme. What's the altar of Padme? Is that I don't know what the altar. I know what Padme. I know who Padme is. Padu, Sithis, Akel, the dark. Darkness, the altar of darkness. I don't know. In the house of Boethia, where we become safe and looked after. I'm curious what the secret to doom is. I just have so many roleplay ideas with all this shit. It's coming to me now. Alright, so now let's do the... Wait. It's interesting how the Netchman's wife being blinded seems to indicate something more than sight being taken from her. And the Dwemer did the same to the Falmer. That is a very interesting connection, yeah. She lost... The sight also could be metaphorical. So sight for the Netchman's wife could be like foresight. It maybe doesn't mean that the Netchman's wife literally lost her eyes and her vision the same as the Falmer did. So wait, no, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. They did not give her back her eyes. Never mind. Never mind. No, they stripped her eyes. No, I'm wrong. I'm looking way too deep into it. No, they fucking took her eyes. She's blind as shit. Source of Chaos Lorcan, Altar of Padme. Altar of Padme, yeah, Altar of Padme could just be chaos, just normal chaos. At the Altar of Chaos, or just at chaos in the house of Boethia. Almer shall perish by the sons and daughters of Shazar Lorcan Shore. The Padmaic Ocean is the ocean to the east of Black Marsh. Was that a thing that was said? The Padmaic Ocean? I don't know. That could be the altar, too. I'm about to achieve Kim. Fuck yeah, we are. All right, let's do Sermon 4. I'm getting into this now. We're 36 minutes in. We're 36 minutes in, and we're on Sermon 4. I have 32 more to go. God damn. I'm going to be here until midnight. All right. Sermon 4. The simulacrum of the Netchman's wife who carried the egg of Vivec within it went back to... Simulacrum of the Netchman's wife who carried the egg of Vivec within it went back looking for the lands of Indoril. Along the journey, many more spirits came to see it. Wait. Okay, wait, no, I haven't read this. Okay. Came to see it and offer instructions to its son-daughter, the future glorious invisible warrior poet of Vardenfell Vivec, which was said in Sermon 2. The exact same line. Interesting. That's what tripped me up for a second. A troop of spirits called the Lobbyists of the Coincidence Guild. Alright, we'll look more at that later. Appeared. Vivec understood the challenge immediately and said, "The popular notion of God kills happenstance." The head of the Lobbyists, whose name is forgotten, tried to defend the concept's existence. He said, saying something at the same time can be magical. Vivec knew that to retain his divinity, that he must make a strong argument against luck. So they're having a debate. Is not the sudden revelation of corresponding conditions the disparate elements that gel at the moment of the coincidence one of the prerequisites to being, in fact, coincidental? I did not understand a single fucking word from this sentence. It's not the sudden revelation of corresponding conditions. All right, we'll move on. Synchronicity comes out of repeated coincidences at the lowest level. Further examination shows it is the utter power of the sheer number of coincidences that lead one to the idea that synchronicity is guided by something more than chance. Therefore, synchronicity ends up invalidating the concept of the coincidental, even though they are the symptomatic signs that bring it to the surface. Thus was coincidence destroyed in the land of the Valathi. Then an old bone of the earth rose up from the simulacrum of the Netchman's wife and said, "If you are to be born a ruling king of the world, you must confuse it with new words. Set me into pondering." "Very well," Vivec said. "Let me talk to you of the world, which I share with mystery and love. Who is her capital? Have you taken the scenic route of her cameo? I have lightly, in secret, missing candles because they're on the untrue side, and run my hand along the edge of a shadow made from 103 divisions of warmth, and left no proof." At this, the old bone folded unto itself 20 times until it became akin to milk, which Vivec drank, becoming a ruling king of the world. Finally, the Chancellor of Exactitude appeared, and he was perfect to look upon from every angle. Vivec understood the challenge immediately and said, "Certitude is for the puzzle box. Logicians and girls of white glamour who harbor it on their own time. I am a letter written in uncertainty." The Chancellor bowed his head and smiled 50 different and perfect ways all at once. He pulled the astrolabe of the universe from his robe and broke it in half, handing both halves to the egg image of Vivec. Vivec laughed and said, "Yes, I know. The slave labor of the senses is as selfish as polar ice, and worsens when energies are spent on a life others regard as fortunate. To be a ruling king, I will have to suffer much that cannot be suffered, and to weigh matters that no astrolabe or compass can comprehend." The ending of the words is Civi. Holy shit, I'm kind of getting lightheaded. God damn. Man. Whew. Yeah, I'm a bit lightheaded from reading this. Is Vivec worshipped as a god like the Aedra, or was Vivec an elf that had great power who sought godhood? You have answered your question by saying both answers. It is commonly thought that Vivec was an elf who achieved godhood, but he writes as if he always had it. Yes. I feel that Vivec is just trying to be unknowable to strengthen the argument that he is a god while actually saying nothing. That could be it. I worked for Vivec. He is a fraud. Fuck you. Sotha Seal, ghost-written ass sermons. Yeah? So if anyone asks Vivec if he is a god, he says yes, Ghostbusters style. I think he'll just say unknowable shit like this. I'm curious how far I'm going to be able to get. This ain't going to be in one live stream, I can tell you that. This will probably be in, like, 5. I'm now starting to understand why Drew Mora only made, like, I think, like, 2 or 3 videos on this 36 lessons of Vivec and dropped it. I'm also curious. Elder Scrolls 5th lesson of Vivec. Has someone made, like, stuff about him? Like, analyzed each one? It was offered doctored history, exudes. All right. We'll read the 5th sermon now. I'm curious who the lobbyists are. Oh yeah, Coincidence Guild. The Coincidence Guild is a group of entities advocating for the importance of existence of coincidence or happenstance. Okay, arguing that coincidence and happenstance exists and is important. They are featured in the 36 lessons of Vivec Sermon 4, where a group of spirits known as the lobbyists of the Coincidence Guild encounter Vivec during a search for the lands of the Indoril. The leader of the lobbyists, whose name faded into obscurity, spearheads the debate. They engage in dialogue with Vivec, who challenges their belief by arguing the concept of luck. Vivec believes in luck, not in coincidence or happenstance. Okay, it's starting to make sense now. It's all debate. Vivec presents a philosophical argument against the notion of coincidence, suggesting that synchronicity arises from repeated coincidences that ultimately invalidate the idea of randomness. The dialogue leads to the destruction of the concept of coincidence in the lands of Valathi. So Dunmer do not believe in coincidence or happenstance. They believe in luck. According to the religious narrative presented in the sermons, Vivec soon encounters old bone of the earth, which folds unto itself 20 times until it takes the appearance of milk. Vivec consumes it, thus ascending to become a ruling king of the world. Following this, he meets the Chancellor of Exactitude and comes to the ultimate realization that being a ruling king entails enduring trials beyond ordinary suffering, grappling with matters immeasurable by conventional means. Okay. So I get the idea of Sermon 4. It is basically a debate between Vivec, who is basically like a baby, and the Coincidence Guild, who are spirits. So I am going to do something because I have now exhausted my brain, in a sense, reading this. So I'm going to do something. I am going to leave for just a second because I want to go and get some ice cream. Because I feel like if I have some ice cream, that's going to basically reinvigorate me. So I am going to be back. Time me. I am going to try and be back in a minute. So we're going to do this in 3, 2, 1. Out of the way. I'm back. What was my time? How's Vivec? I don't think any of you know. Let's see. My boy, are you alright? You're fine, you're fine. You're okay. Don't whine. Don't be a bitch. Alright. As you can see, I have some, if you can see, let's get it focus. Bluebell ice cream. It's hard to see because of the light. My ring light. What does it say? Dutch chocolate. So I have some chocolate ice cream that I'm going to eat. Hopefully it'll wake me up. As I was running to my garage to get it from my refrigerator there, my legs, I could barely feel I'm getting lighthearted from this. I feel like I'm achieving Kim right now. Chim, whatever the fuck it is. I'm ascending to godhood just reading this. Oh, God, this is Nirvana right here, I swear. All right. Yeah, no, this is some good stuff right there. Yeah, I like it. And I have to have it in the refrigerator in my garage because if I have it in the refrigerator in my kitchen, it just gets way too hard. But in my garage, it just has the right temperature somehow. So it's really good. I'm really... Ah, damn. All right. So, yeah, sorry, no author's ice cream to be had. Yeah, I just shoved you, dude. I just shoved you. I shoved you out of the way. You were completely gone, axed. Ice cream is more important than Neloth. All right. A fridge in the garage? Is this some sort of American thing I don't know about? Maybe. I have no idea. It's just like... There's just some things... we just have 2 refrigerators. I have no idea if it's an American thing. Maybe. Maybe it is, because I think I had a couple friends that did it too. They have a refrigerator in their garage. I think I'm remembering that right. Yeah. All right. I feel better now. How was I just researching the Elder Scrolls lore and I searched 36 Lessons of Vivec and you just happened to be reading it? Let's go. If you type in the 36 Lessons of Vivec, this stream comes up, baby. Who's the boss? Who dominates? All right. I'm wondering if Dunmer have mushroom ice cream. They might, honestly. It's possible that they do. All right. So now we are going to go back and we're going to read Sermon 5. I'm curious what the simulacrum is. The simulacrum of the Netchman's wife. What the fuck does that mean? Of the Netchman's wife who carried the egg. What? I don't know what the simulacrum of the Netchman's wife is. I don't know what this... What's a simulacrum? Hang on a second. Maybe I just need to think smaller. An image or representation of someone or something. So, an unsatisfactory imitation or substitute. So, a simulacrum, a substitute of the Netchman's wife. A substitute. Okay, so the thing... Because has Vivec even given birth yet? Has he technically been born? I don't know. That's a fucking weird thing that I'm thinking of. Because he came out of the womb by the Dwemer. But I don't know if he's technically born anon or not. Think a copy. Okay. So a copy of the Netchman's wife. Okay, so... Vivec isn't born yet, I assume. Or clone. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to assume that he... That would make sense. I'm missing something. Alright, I have to actually eat this whole ice cream because it's melting. I forgot. It is really warm in here. It is really warm in this room. Actually, before we go on, I'm actually going to finish the rest of this. I don't want to just, like, leave it. Because if I just read Sermon 5, come back to this, it's going to just be milk. It's just going to be gone. So how's everyone doing? Is everyone doing good today? Everyone have a good day? Ooh, I'm going to have freezer burn. Or brain freeze. I just got back from a rehearsal for a show that I have tomorrow. And the rehearsal was a waste of time. So I'm glad I get to do this. So I feel like my day has been productive. Yeah. Oh no, this ice cream's melting. I gotta finish it all. This is some good shit. This is the milk that Vivec drank. Right here. I'm consuming the milk of Vivec. Hell yeah. I just got home from a 12-hour shift. God damn, dude. I thought my day was rough. I was just playing some Red Dead Redemption 2 while listening to the 36 being read. Hell yeah. That's an interesting dichotomy. Playing a cowboy game while reading about like the philosophical teachings of Vivec. Alright. Let me have the rest of this. And then I have it all. Alright. And we have now finished. You're consuming what? Don't ask questions. Don't ask a single fucking question. Alright, I'll put this right here. Hopefully it doesn't fall or make a mess. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. There we go. Alright. I feel better. I feel reinvigorated. I can't imagine a 12-hour shift. An 8-hour I've had almost killed me. Yeah, same. I worked at a Chick-fil-A, which is, I don't know if places outside of America have that. I'm assuming it's a big fucking corporation, but whenever I worked at Chick-fil-A, I used to work 8 hours. I fucking hated it. Then my manager hated me and made me work 4 hours only, but even then, 4 hours was rough. But yeah, I can't even imagine. All right. So now we are going to read Sermon 5. Finally, the simulacrum of the Netchman's wife became unstable. The Dwemer, in their haste, had built it shoddily, and the ashes of Red Mountain slowed its golden tendons. So the Dwemer still have Vivec. Well, no, but he's going around trying to find the lands of Indoril. Slowed its... Before long, it fell on the knees beside the road to the lands of the land of the Indoril, and pitched over to be discovered 80 days later by a merchant caravan on its way to the capital of Veloth, Anon-Almalexia. So the capital city of Veloth, which will later become Mournhold. Okay. Vivec had not been among his people all the days of his pre-life, so he's not born yet. Okay, cool. He has not been born. So he stayed silent and let the Chimer in the caravan think that the simulacrum was broken and empty. A Chimeri warrior who was protecting the caravan said, "Look here how the Dwemer tried to fool us as ever, crafting our likeness out of their flesh metals. We should take this to the capital and show our mother Ayam. She will want to see this new strategy of our enemies." So the Dwemer... So Vivec is hiding in the copy of the Netchman's wife that the Dwemer created, that Vivec is using as he roams the land of Indoril. And so the Chimeri warrior believes that it's like a cyborg or something, or one of the machines of the Dwemer that is being used to like spy on them or some shit. Because it says flesh metals, so when I think flesh and metal, I think cyborg. AM is Almalexia, right? Yes. Vec is Vivec, Set is Sothasil, and AM is Almalexia. Alright. Where was I? Show our mother AM, she'll want to see the strategy of our enemies. But the merchant captain said, "I doubt that we shall be paid well for the effort. We can make more money if we stop at Normok and sell it to the Red Wives of Dagon." Normok, a place that we don't fucking know. The Red Wives of Dagon, who pay well for wonders made by the deep folk. Red Wives. So that might be like Daedra lords that you know, do it with Dagon and give birth to stuff, or maybe it's like a cult. Flesh Metal would be a good band name. Hell yeah. Yep. That is my alarm for my turtle, but my father is taking care of my turtle, so that's okay. All right. But another Chimer, who was wise in the ways of prophecy, looked on the simulacrum with disquietude. What the fuck is this word? Okay, hey, hold up a minute. Disquietude, a state of uneasiness or anxiety.
Disquietude.
Okay. Are you able to hear that? Like the,
Disquietude.
I guess you can hear it through my mic. But yeah. Alright, so looked on the simulacrum with disquietude, uneasiness. Was I not hired on to help you seek the best of fortunes? I say you should listen to your warrior then, and take this thing to AM. For though manufactured by our enemies, there is nothing in it that will become sacred, or has been already. The merchant captain took pause and looked on the simulacrum of the Netchman's wife. though he heeded always the advice of his seers, could do no more than think of the profits to be made at Normoch. He thought mainly of the Red Wives' form of recompense, which was four-cornered and good wounded, a belly magic known nowhere else under the moons. So sex. His lust made him deny Am his mother. He gave order to change course for Normoch. So Normoch is like a land, made like a place of Dagon worshippers. Red Wives, belly magic, could be just like prostitutes, I guess. So yeah. Oh, you have a turtle? I have a turtle? Do you now? Yeah, I have a yellow-bellied slider turtle. He's an aquatic turtle. He's pretty cute. Before the caravan could get underway, this is actually cool. Now there's drama. Because now Vivec, who is supposed to be taken to Am, is now being taken away to Dagon, into the clutches of Lord Dagon and the four corners of the house. So this is interesting. Before the caravan could get underway, actually, I could probably zoom in, actually. Make it, no, then it's harder for me to read. Hopefully you can see this stuff. Should make it a bit better, a bit more legible. That should be better. That should be better. Yeah. All right. Hopefully it's more legible for you guys. If you're reading along via the stream, or, you know, if anything, you could just like pull up the unofficial Elder Scrolls page, just type in 36 lessons of Vivec yourself. Anyways, or, you know, just play a fucking game like some other guy did with his Red Dead Redemption 2. Never heard doing it referred to as belly magic. I only know of belly magic from the Remanada, which is something I read, which is basically a book about Reman Cyrodiil. Not canon per se, but I consider it canon. For Red Wives, it's less of an actual marriage and it's closer to prostitution. Okay. The word you're looking for is concubine. Let me look up what concubine is, because I'm an idiot. A woman who lives with a man and has a sexual relationship but not married to him. Okay. Gotcha. All right. So yeah, prostitution was kind of what I thought of whenever I saw the belly magic stuff. All right. So let us continue. To pause. Change course for Normoch. Before the caravan could get underway, the Chimera warrior who had counseled a passage to the capital threw his money to the merchant captain and said, "I will pay you thus for the simulacrum and warn you. War's coming with the shaggy men of the north, and I will not have my mother Am at uneven odds with one enemy while tending to another. War's coming in the battle of the Red Mountain between the Nords and other shit. Nerevar, the merchant captain said, that is not enough. I am triune in my own way, but I follow the road of my body and demand more. Then Vivec could not remain silent any more and said into Nerevar's head these words. So Nerevar is on this caravan. Wait, okay. So the Chimera warrior that's being referred to is Nerevar. Interesting. Crap, where did it say? Another Chimera. I'm trying to find out where it said Chimera warrior. Yeah, a Chimera warrior. So that is Nerevar. Okay. Could not remain silent and said into Nerevar's head these words. You can hear the words, so run away. Come, Hortator, unfold into a clear unknown. Stay quiet until you've slept in the yesterday, and say no elegies for the melting stone. So Nerevar slew the merchant captain and took the caravan for his own. The ending of the words is Alm Sivi. Let me move my mic a bit because I actually am having a hard time seeing the moving my mic more than I was supposed to. Shoot, messed it up. Okay, hopefully that'll be fine. Hopefully you can still hear me fine. It was getting in my way. Alright, sorry guys, need to take care of my cats and purchase cat food. See you later. Of course, take care of your cat. Alright. So, interesting. So, Nerevar, I don't know why this is difficult to... I think I need to, like, zoom it out completely. There we go. Alright, there we go. That makes it easier. Alright, Sermon 6. There we go. Lower this. I gotta... You can't see it on my end because of how my mic is positioned, but... Yeah, I'm trying to, like... My mic is more down than it's supposed to be. So I have to, like... fix it. There we go. Alright, there we go. Now it's fixed. Have it more up. Like that. Down. There we go. That's better. Let us move this back so you can see Nerevar. I mean, not... Neloth. The Telvanni man himself. Alright. Good enough. Wait, damn it. It's still in my way, and I'm trying to, like... There we go. Alright. You can still hear me. It's fine. Murdering a whole caravan? Shame on you, sweet Nerevar. I don't think he murdered the whole caravan. He just took it for his own. He just slew the merchant captain. We'll find out, unless it just doesn't really speak about the rest of that. I also wish that I could, like, flip myself around. Because you can see me looking this way, but I'm looking away. So, yeah, that's a bit annoying, but what can you do? Anyways. Alright. Well, actually, I could just move that a bit more. There we go. Alright. Let's begin with Sermon 6. You have discovered the 6th sermon of Vivec, which was hidden in the words that came next to the Hortator. There is an eon within itself when unraveled becomes the first sentence of the world. Mephala and Azura are the twin gates of tradition, and Boethia is the secret flame. The sun shall be eaten by lions, which cannot be found yet in Veloth. 6 are the vests and garments worn by the how the fuck is that word? Superstitions of men. Whatever the fuck that means. Proceed only with the simplest terms, for all others are enemies and will confuse you. 6 are the formulas to heaven by violence, one that you have learned by studying these words. The Father is a machine, and the mouth of a machine. Who's the Father? Sothacil. Fair, says Machines. His only mystery is an invitation to elaborate further. The Mother is active and clawed like a Nyx hound, yet she is the holiest of those that reclaim their days. The Son is myself, Vec, and I am unto 369, and the rest that come after, glorious and sympathetic without borders, utmost in the perfections of this world and the others. Sword and symbol, pale like gold. There is a 4th kind of philosophy that uses nothing but disbelief. For the sword, I mean the sensible. For the word, I mean the dead. I am Vec, your protector, and the protector of Red Mountain until the end of days, which are numbered 3333. Below me is the savage, which we needed to remove ourselves from the Altmer. Above me is a challenge, which bathes itself in fire and the essence of a god. Through me you are desired, unlike the prophets that have borne your name before. 6 are the walking ways, from enigma to enemy to teacher. Boethia and Azura are the principles of the universal plot, which is begetting, which is creation, and Mephala makes of it an art form. For by the sword I mean the first night, for by the word I mean the dead. There will be a splendor in your name when it is said to be true. 6 are the guardians of Veloth, 3 before they are born again, and they will test you until you have proper tendencies of the hero. So the doom-driven hero, the protagonist of each of the games. There is a world that is sleeping, and you must guard against it. For by the sword I mean dual nature. For by the word I mean animal life. For by the sword I mean preceded by a sigh. For by the word I mean preceded by a wolf. The ending of the words is Olm Sivi. Interesting. Very, very interesting. And I'm trying to fix my mic because now I'm obsessed with trying to get it just right, and I'm never going to, but you know how it is. Supposition is the noun form of suppose. It's kind of a guess, a supposing. Gotcha. A supposing. Okay. That's understandable. So this is something that honestly you could dissect, and I feel like I did kind of have a grasp of it. There is something that I did like. So for those that don't know, there is a YouTube video from Fudge Muppet. Fudge Muppet Remanite. Remanite. I really wish you didn't see all my videos. I should have like gone incognito. But yeah, you can see the Remanite build right here. Very good video, highly recommended. It is a really good build. But as you can see, I liked it. In this build, they talk about the concept of piercing heaven, ascending to heaven through violence, and how that is a Remanite philosophy. But it seems that it's not just a Remanite philosophy. It seems that it is a philosophy just in the Elder Scrolls in general. 6 are the formulas to heaven by violence, one that you have learned by studying these words. So there are 6 formulas to heaven by violence. 6. I wonder what the other 5 are, and what the first one was. What are these formulas of violence? Heaven by violence. I know that it's like an Aleister Crowley thing, but I don't know exactly what the forms are. So what does Vivec is telling Nerevar that he can't become a ruling king via Kim if he can't remember or understand the 3 lessons to ruling kings. He should seek power in the thing. Vivec did this with Almsivi. Vivec learned the thing is a less than ideal in walking way. Okay. Reach heaven by violence in the context of 36 lessons as they relate. Kill your one true enemy. Slay your one true enemy, whomever that is. The murder of Nerevar got them the heart of Lorcan. Heaven by violence? It could be in a sense. People, so something that like I've always like wondered is the idea that are the tribunal really false gods? Everyone always says that they are false gods because they coveted the heart of Lorcan. But I feel like that if you use the idea of the tribunal being false gods, then that also means you are referring to Talos as a false god too. Because Talos achieved Kim, or Kim, however you say it, via means that are on the top of my head, but I can't remember for the life of me. Yeah. Dragon. God, the ice cream's getting to me. Goodness. Dragon made a good point. What makes one a god? And that is a good question. What does make one a god? According to Riemanite philosophy, at least according to Fudge Muppet, the idea that mantling a god, becoming a god, means that you're a god. And that's what the tribunal did. They coveted the heart of Lorcan and became gods. So I don't necessarily think that they're false gods, similar to Talos. So, and I feel like that one of the ways of becoming a god is to pierce heaven through violence. Similar to how Talos conquered violence, similar to how the tribunal murdered Nerevar through violence. Now, I'm not a very philosophical guy. I'm a pretty big dumbass. But that's just my interpretation. Could the last Dragonborn be a god? It depends, I would say. People often use... I feel like the last Dragonborn is overhyped, in my opinion. I feel like people idolize that character way too much, and not as much for the Nerevarine, or the Hero of Kvatch, or the Agent, or the Vestige, or any of those characters. I feel as if, like, each individual character that we play has the capability to become a god, or, like, a lesser deity. For example, if we look at... whatchamacallit? Crap. What is it? It's the different pantheons. Elder Scrolls Imperial Pantheon. Gods. There's like a thing. Varieties of faith in the Empire. This might be it. Cyrodiil. And as you can see in Cyrodiil, the Imperials, they worship, Akatosh, Dibella, Arkay, Zenithar, Mara, Stendar, Kinnereth, Julianos, Shazar, Tiber Septim, Moriaus, the bull that was with Pelinal Whitestrake, and Riemann Cyrodiil. All of these are worshipped by the Empire, roughly. Riemann being a more minor deity, but a deity nonetheless, similar to Moriaus. So, in that sense, because they accomplished so much and they pierced heaven through violence, then, Nerevar too with the Dunmer, because we can see Nerevar is one of them. Or at least not the Nerevarine, well, kind of the Nerevarine, but mainly Lord Indoril Nerevar before the reincarnation of Lord Indoril Nerevar, the Nerevarine. So, in that sense, to answer the question, could the last Dragonborn be a god? I don't think necessarily like the last Dragonborn because he's Dragonborn, but our characters, because we pierce heaven through violence, and we basically we have the ultimate saga, really. And it also, again, it's like, what does a god mean? Like, is Ysgramor considered a god? He could be considered a god because of just how big of a legend he is amongst the Nords, even though, if we look at all, like, the books and stuff, then no one necessarily calls him a god or worships him as a god. He's just a really fucking sick Nord. But yeah. Anyways, I missed some comments that could be important. I mean, since the Hero of Kvatch mantles Madman, he is a god. Yes, that's true. But I think he has like a different... His way of becoming a god is different in a sense. Maybe the Divines and Daedra are just main characters from another Kalpa who became gods. I like that, actually. I don't think you understand how much I like that. But also, it does beg the... I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. It just depends. Because also the Red Guards, I believe, are from a different Kalpa. So, well, then you have the Yokuden Pantheon. Oh, God, this is so confusing. I don't know. Is Ysgramor as much of a cultural god as Riemann is to Cyrodiil? Maybe. But Ysgramor is never worshipped as a god. He's never referred to as a god. If we look at Skyrim... This is like what I looked at for my my Nordic Gods video. Ysgramor isn't on here. Ysmir is. Ysmir is. Ysmir could be... Maybe Ysmir... No, I just want Ysmir, not that. Nordic aspect of Talos. He is the power of the Greybeards. But Ysmir isn't just Tiber Septim. Ysmir is more a title, and that's something that I talked about in my Nordic Gods video. So it could be possible that Ysmir could also be Ysgramor. But Ysgramor doesn't really become a god in a sense because he's kind of chilling. Well, no, he's chilling in Sovngarde, but so is Soon, who is a god, as we can see by literally, if we look, Skyrim, we can see Soon right here. Soon, who is straight up a guy that we fight. For those, oh wait, my god, I haven't even I've been showing you, I had a whole screen going and you couldn't even see it. But Soon, right here, if you can see him, is a god. And yeah, I lost my train of thought because I didn't realize that you couldn't even see my screen. But yeah, Ysgramor could be a god in a sense. It really just depends. He could be. I don't fucking know. Anyways, I assume Wolfhearth was absorbed by Talos/Tiber. Yeah, he was. I thought Ysmir was a sort of title. Yes. And Ysmir is a god and a title. So, okay, so someone said that the last Dragonborn could be a god. That could actually be true because the Greybeards do a speech where they say that you are Ysmir now, Dragon of the North, hearken to it. So yeah, he could be a god. I feel like each of the characters, the Nerevarine, the Champion of Cyrodiil, the last Dragonborn, they all become gods in various different ways. So yeah. If the Nords had saints, I'd say he might be in for that kind of role. Ysgramor is more of a folk hero than the people would presume some holy ties to easily. Yeah, he's not a god. He's a saint. Yeah, kind of like how the Dunmer have their own little like saints and all that. You're right. Anyways, let us read Sermon 6. You have to wait. No, I already read this. Yeah, no, I already read this. Never mind. Sermon 7 is what I mean. As the caravan, let me move this a little bit so I can see. As the caravan of Nerevar now made for the capital of Veloth, anon Almalexia, there came great rumblings from Oblivion. A duke among scamps wandered into the House of Troubles, pausing before each scripture door to pay his respects until finally he was met. Did I miss anything here? No, I'm good. All right. Respects until he was finally met by the major domo of Mehrunes Dagon. So a duke among scamps, all right. The Duke of Scamps said, I was summoned by Lord Dagon, master of the foul waters and fire, and I have brought by the penance of my 7 legions. The major domo, whose head was a bubble of foul water and fire, bowed low, so that the head of the Duke of Scamps became enclosed in his own. He saw the first pennant, which commanded a legion of grim warriors who could die at least twice. Maybe more. We don't fucking know. Grim warriors. Okay, we'll find out more later. That showed me Sermon 9. All right, I get it. He saw the second pennant, which commanded a legion of winged bulls, and the Emperor of Color that rode upon each. The Emperor of Color. Riemann? That could be a winged bull and Riemann. That could be it. I'm not sure. He saw the third pennant, which commanded a legion of inverted gorgons, great snakes, whose scales were the faces of men. Okay, great snakes whose scales were the faces of men, being the Seiki, or Seesi, or however you say them. He saw the fourth pennant, which commanded a legion of double-crossed lovers. Double-crossed lovers, I don't know. He saw the fifth pennant, which commanded a legion of jumping wounds looking to hop onto a victim. He saw the sixth pennant, which commanded a legion of abridged planets. The Aedra. Okay, so it's the divines in this sense. a legion of the divines, each of the planets, because if you didn't know, the Aedra each have their own planets. And yeah, the winged bulls is Morial's, as we can see from this right here. He saw the 7th pennant, which commanded a legion of armored winning moves. Okay. To which the major domo said, Duke Kuuta, your legions, while mighty, are not enough to destroy Nerevar or the Triune Way. Look upon the Hortator and see wisdom he takes to wife. And they looked into the middle world and saw, evaporating in a throng of thunder, of red war and chitin men, where destinies take him further from our ways, the heat that we have wanted, and pray they still remember, where destinies clothe the distance, glad in the golden east that we saw it now, instead of the war and repair of the oblivious fracture, a curse on the Hortator, and 2 more on his hands. And the Duke of Scamps saw the palms of the Hortator, upon which the egg had written these words of power. Gautok Padme, Gautok Padme. The ending of the words is Om Sivi. The fuck is Gautok? I don't know what that is. There's so much I'm learning. I don't know what the hell this means. Gautok. A Gartok is your weapon hand, or a hand that's made for weapons, or a hand that is a weapon. So my sword arm, Padme, sword arm, Padme. Interesting. Oh, hell yeah, we have a shorter sermon this time. Thank Padme. Thank Boethia. Hell yeah. Thank Vivec. Are all these prophecies of wars/invasions? These are alluding to the Battle of Red Mountain, if I'm not being mistaken. But this was written after that, when the tribunal after the tribunal rose to godhood and murdered Nerevar. So it's not a prophecy necessarily, but yeah. Gartok is a scroll temple in ESO's Cyrodiil. Really? Wait, hold up. Yeah, Gate of Gartok. Gartok is the gate guarding the scroll temple of Gartok. The fuck? Is the seat of the Elder Scroll of Gartok. It is the offensive scroll for the Ebonheart Pact. It is guarded by the Gate of Gartok, which is under the protection of Fargate Keep. Interesting. That is interesting that someone wrote that. You know, people give ESO a lot of shit, but they really did have some ideas from some stuff. I really do like ESO in a sense. I don't think there's some problems I have with ESO, but there are some things I do like about ESO. I think it is truer to Elder Scrolls lore than people give credit for. All right. Sermon 8. Well, hang on a second. Did I fully analyze it? So yeah, what are these pennants? I forget. So we had the Duke of Scamps. I have brought the pennants of my 7 legions. So the pennants could be prophecy, I guess? Because these are, yeah, okay, wait, someone's talking about prophecy, yeah. Are all these pennants prophecies of war/invasions? They could be. Because you have the Grim Warriors, who I guess we'll find out in Sermon 9. We have the Winged Bulls and the Emperor. So it could be Morials and then Riemann. The 3rd pennant, which is the Saesi. I don't know what Double Cross Lovers is. I don't know what this is. The Divines and the Planets. I don't know what this is. So yeah, that could be that. It could be prophecy in that sense. God, I hope some of you are comprehending this. Oh man. All right. So let's go on to Sermon 8. All right. Nerevar and Vivec were within sight of the capital of the 4 corners of the House of Troubles. Wait, so they're making it to the capital of the 4 corners. Okay, never mind. They made sight of the capital, Mournhold, or AM, as it was. No, as it was Veloth, as it was then, or whatever the city was called. God, that's like 17 different names. And the four corners of the House of Troubles knew that it was not time to contest them. Not time yet. The caravan musicians made a great song of entrance, and the 11 gates of the morning hold were thrown wide. AM was accompanied by her husband State, a flickering image that was channeled to her ever-changing female need. Around her were the shouts, a guild now forgotten, who carried with them the whims of the people, for the Valathi then were still mostly good at heart. The shouts were the counselors of AM and the country, though they sometimes quarreled and needed Set to wring them into usefulness. AM approached Nerevar, who was by now adorned in the flags of House Indoril. He gifted her with the simulacrum of the Netchman's wife and the egg of Vivec inside. So Nerevar is a Chimer warrior that's San, but House Indoril exists. I was always under the assumption that House Indoril named themselves after Nerevar Indoril. But I think it might be more apparent to say that Nerevar just belonged to House Indoril and that he ascended up and that House Indoril already existed. So that's an assumption that I always thought. Founded in ancient times when Morrowind was still Resdane and the first council ruled over the Chimer. Prior to it, there's no mention of Nerevar Indoril. So yeah. So similar to how some people are named like, Telvanni or Hlalu or stuff like that, Nerevar Indoril, Nerevar married into Clan Indoril. Okay. Something I always believed that I am now wrong on is that House Indoril was named after him. That is incorrect. I'm learning. War is come, and that the Hortator shall deliver us. Am said to Nerevar, Set who is Azura has revealed that war is come, and that the Hortator shall deliver us will approach with a solution walking at his side. Nerevar said, I have traveled out of my way to warn you of the deceit of our enemies, the Dwemer, but I have learned much on the journey, and have changed my mind. This Netchman's wife you see at my side is a sword and a symbol. There is prophecy inside. It tells me, like it, we must for a while be like he is, and as a people, cloaked in our former enemies, and to use their machines without shame. At which Vivec spoke aloud. Boethia, who is you, wore the skin of Trinimac to cleanse the faults of Veloth, my queen, and so it should be again. This is the walking way of the glorious. Set appeared out of a cloud of iron vapor, and his minions made of their blood a chair. He sat beside Am. Wait, what the fuck? His minions made of their blood a chair. Okay. He sat beside Am and looked on the rebirth of mastery. Vivec said to them, his triune, my rituals and ordeals and all the rhymes within use no other motive than the revelation of my skin. Am said, Am a Seti a Vec. We are delivered and made whole. The Black Hands Morag Tong is uncovered. Set said, wherever so he treads, there is invisible scripture, to which the shouts were silent in sudden reading. Vivec then reached out from the egg, all his limbs and features merging with the simulacrum of his mother, gilled and blended in all of the arts of the star-wounded east of Red Mountain. Under water and in fire, and in metal and in ash, 6 times the wise, and he became the union of male and female, the magical hermaphrodite, the martial axiom, the sex death of language, and unique in all of the middle world. He said, let us now guide the hands of the Hortator in war and its aftermath, for we go different and in thunder. This is our destiny. The ending of the words is Alm City. Damn. Now I understand why the Elder Scrolls has so many madmen. Fuck yeah. Wait, the Netchman's wife isn't Vivec's mother. She's Vivec. Vivec is inside her. I remember something like that in Coda. I've never read Coda, which could be another thing I read. But yeah, so that actually could be true. That the Netchman's wife... Who the fuck is the Netchman, though? That's my question. The Netchman's wife could be Vec. Because I do remember that Vec does appear female in Coda, so why not in this as well? So, and this is where we finally see the hermaphrodite thing, showing that Vivec is both male and female, and is a hermaphrodite, and is the union of male and female. He is both. Straight up a hermaphrodite. So that is interesting. And it's also interesting because if we look at the tribunal, Elder Scrolls Tribunal, we look at the image of them, you see, and it's just really cool, like, imagery as well. I really like this. Damn it, I'm trying to, like, get, like, a closer look. There we go. If we get a closer look, we can see Almalexia maintains her chimer form. Set, so Thecile, gives in to his Dunmary form, and Vivec is a combination of the both. He is the symbolism of this union between AM and Set. The female, the Chimary, and the male, the Dunmary. I just love this symbolism between all that shit. So he is the child of the matrimony between these two. Interesting. Manuel Loro said hello. Hello, welcome to the fucking insane shit that we're uncovering in the 36 lessons of Vivec. Vivec is a bit too promiscuous for me. I don't think I could ever worship. Fair enough. Maybe, well, not Riemann Cyrodiil. Man, not Tiber Septim. Maybe, I have no idea. They're all horny as shit. Alright. Star Wounded East. Alright, so it's talking about the coming of that and how the Hortator, the Nerevar, is going to basically be the one to save them. At which Vivec spoke aloud, Boethia, who is you, wore the skin of Trinimac to cleanse the faults of Veloth. The faults of Veloth, my queen, and so it should be again. Cleanse the faults of Veloth. I don't know what this means specifically. That is interesting. Alright. Okay. So next we have Sermon 9, which talks about the, what was it? What were they? The Grim Warriors. So we get to finally learn about the Grim Warriors. I'm curious where, how Dagoth is also going to come into play. I'm curious if he's even ever mentioned in the 36 lessons of Vivec. I assume not, because, you know, the Dagoth is part of the 6th house and tribe unmourned, meaning never spoken of. The house that should never be discussed. To cleanse his Altmer traits and culture and remake him. Okay. I like Sothicil if I had to choose a tribunal. I'm kind of liking Vivec, honestly. I'm having more respect for Vivec. This is interesting for me. Veloth was religiously converted to the 3 good Daedra instead of worshipping the Aedra. That's what he meant by cleansing the faults. Okay. Cleansing the faults of worshipping the 3 good Daedra and by worshipping the tribunal instead, is what I'm assuming you're trying to mean by that. I did glance Sharmat when you scrolled. We shall see. All right. Did I scroll through Sharmat as well? I have no idea. Also, what the fuck is this ad getting? Z-Biotics. It looks like a fucking... I don't even know. All right. Anyways. So next, we have Sermon 9. Then came the war with the northern men, the Nords, where Vivec did guide the Hortator into swift and tricky union with the Dwemer. The greatest demon chieftains of the frigid west were those listed below, 5 in unholy number. Okay, so these are the chieftains... Wait, where Vivec did guide the Hortator into a swift and tricky union with the Dwemer. The greatest demon chieftains of the frigid west... Okay, so the chieftains of the Nords. Okay. Hoaga, the mouth of mud, who appeared as a great bearded king, had the powers of marshalling and breathing the earth. On the battlefields, this demon would often be seen on the sidelines, eating the soil voraciously. When his men fell, Hoaga would fill their bodies back with it, whereupon they would rise again and fight, albeit slower. Ah, okay, so this is... I see now. Okay, so this is the fucking whatchamacallit, the Grim Warriors. Okay. He had a secret name, Fenya, and destroyed 17 Chimeri villages and 2 Dwemeri strongholds before being turned away. Hoag Murkiller was a short-lived High King. I remember Hoag, actually. I remember that name. Alright. Kemua, the Running Hunger, who appeared as a mounted soldier with full helm, had the powers of heart roaring of sky sickening. He ate the Chimeri hero, Drez Kizumete, sending the spirit back to the Hortator as an assassin. First Blighter. Kemua could give clouds stomach aches and turn the rain of Veloth into bile. He destroyed 6 Chimeri villages before he was slain by Vivec and the Hortator. Bog, the Two-Tongued, who appeared as a great bearded king, had the powers of Sereti and form change. His raiders were small in number but ran amok in the west hinterlands, killing many Velothi trappers and scouts. He fell in a great debate with Vivec, for the warrior poet alone could understand the northern man's 2-layered speech, though Almcivi had to remain invisible during the argument. Interesting. War chief equals Jarls. So these are all like the Jarls back in the day. Barfok, Maid of Plains, who appeared as a winged human with lick encrusted spear, had the powers of event denouement. Battles fought against her would always end in victory for Barfok, because she could shape outcomes by singing. 4 Chimeri villages and 2 Dwemeri strongholds were destroyed by her decision enforcement. Vivec had to stuff her mouth with milk fingers to keep her from singing Veloth into ruin. Hang on one second. I need to know something, and I'm going to look this up off screen out of curiosity. Elder Scrolls, what are milk fingers? I think, be sure. Stabbed her milk fingers is deliberately suggestive, though. I talked him to death, yeah. Don't. I have to. I need to know. Okay. All right. I think I know now. Okay. Cool. I'm not going to say out loud, but I know now. I see. Interesting. I think you already know. I think I kind of knew, but I needed to be sure. I know. All right. So now we know. Okay. Interesting way to defeat an opponent. Very interesting. Ysmir, the dragon of the north, who always appears as a great bearded king and had powers innumerable and echoing. He was grim and dark and the most silent of invading chieftains. Though when he spoke, villages were uplifted and thrown into the sea. The Hortator fought him unarmed, grabbing the dragon's roars by hand until Ysmir's power throat bled. These roars were given to Vivec to bind into an ebony listening frame, which the warrior poet placed on Ysmir's face and ears to drive him mad and drive him away. So he took the voice and placed it into himself, freaking him the fuck out. The coming forth and driving away brings all things around. What I shall say next is unpleasant to record. Hermea mora altadun e altadun. The ending of the words is Civi. Now, I will say, whenever it comes to certain things, because someone said, like, yeah, why is this so gross? I don't think it is supposed to be taken in a literal sense. I think it is supposed to be taken metaphorically. So the milk fingers, which is deliberately, it's basically ambiguous. It's deliberately ambiguous. Some people say it is a thing that I will not say out loud. I am under the assumption so far that it is not. Because remember how Boethia consumed Trinimac and shat him out, creating Malakath. But I do not believe that Boethia literally ate Trinimac and pooped him out. I don't believe that in the literal sense, and there's texts saying that it's really supposed to be taken metaphorically and not literally. So I could be wrong, but I believe that that is not supposed to be taken in a literal sense. All right, I agree. I see it as metamorphic, or at least open to consideration. Yes, that's what I believe. But it is kind of funny to, make fun of it and all that shit. All right. Sermon 10. You have discovered the 10th sermon of Vivec, which was hidden in the words that came in the aftermath to the Hortator. The evoker shall raise his left hand empty and open, to indicate he needs no weapons of his own. The coming forth is always hidden, so the evoker is always invisible or better in skin of his enemies. The eyelid of the kingdom shall fill 36 folios. Hey, 36 lessons, eh? But the eye shall read the world. By this, the Hortator needs me to understand. The sword is an impatient signature. Write no contracts of the dead. Vivec says unto the Hortator, remember the words of Boethia. So these are the words of Boethia. We pledge ourselves to you, the frame maker, the scarab, a world for us to love you in, a cloak of dirt to cherish, betrayed by your ancestors when you were not even looking. Hoary Magnus and his ventured opinions cannot sway the understated, a tricky worthy of the always satisfied. A short season of towers, a run-down absolution. And what is this? What is this but fire under your eyelid? Shift ye in your skin, I say to the Trinimac eaters. Pitch your voice, Trinimac eaters being Boethia. Pitch your voice into the color of bruise. Divide ye like your enemies in houses, and lay your laws in set sequence from center again, like the enemy, corners of the house of troubles, and see yourself thence as timber or mud slats or sheets of resin. Then do not divide, for yet is the stride of Sithis quicker than the rush of enemies, and he will sunder the whole for the sake of the shingle. For we go different in thunder. Sithisit is the start of all true houses, built against stasis and lazy slaves. Turn from your predilections, broken like false maps. Move and move like this. Quicken and false fathers, mothers left in corners weeping for glass and rain. Stasis asks merely for nothing for itself, which is nothing, as you were in the 8 everlasting imperfections. I have no idea what any of this means. Trinimac Eaters is the Velothi. You're right. It's not, yeah, you're right. The Scarab refers to the 6th house. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense there. Hermea Moore is what I call the tentacle guy because his name is hard to spell. That's fair. Yeah, Trinimac Eaters. The Scarab is Lorcan. Well, now we have a the Scarab could be two things, but I mean the Scarab. Oh wait, hold on a second. We can the Scarab. Well, that didn't help. Wait, reiterates Boethia to Vivec by saying the framemaker, the Scarab. Wait. The commentaries of Mankar Cameron also speak to the divine significance of the Scarab. Mankar claims Nirn is the realm of Lorcan and his teachings with the phrase, oh my god. The Dwemer. Wait. So wait, it's not the 6th house. The Redoran have the Scarab banner. So it is not the 6th house, it is Lorcan. So that is correct. 8 as it the 8 towers? Maybe. A Knight of the Scarab. What's that? Oh, Dunmer shit. Alright. Yeah. So Framemaker, the Scarab, so this refers to Lorcan. The Frame Eaters, or the Trinimac Eaters, refers to the Velothi. Those with 6th house blood are referred to as having the blood of the Scarab, the blood of Lorcan. Gotcha. Interesting. Okay. So I do lean more towards the idea that this Scarab is being referred to as Lorcan in that sense. All right, let's finish Sermon 10. Everlasting wait, did I read this part? Yeah, I read this part. All right. Vivec says unto the Hortator, remember the words of Vivec. Understand that Sithisit still travels. Vivec says, remember the words of Vivec. I'll skip that part then. In a faux... What the fuck is that word? Okay, that did not fucking help me at all. That is not at all. That looks like the fucking guy that is modeled after the Giants. No idea what that means. Phosphorescent mirror of the sky, drowned and smiling, intermittent hopes enough to answer all the things not yet queried. The ending of the words is Alm Sivi. 8 everlasting imperfections I always read as the 8 divines. Wait, shit, where's the 8 everlasting imperfect? Oh yeah, 8 everlasting imperfections. That, I think, what does that refer to? Elder Scrolls... Paste... 8 everlasting imperfections. Does this, like, give you... No, it doesn't. Alright. This actually might be easier to read through, actually. Because it's, like, it's different. I could, like, next up go to that. I don't know. Series... never mind. Could be the Divines. Then I learned... Everything ever at the end. Alright. Sermon 11. The 36 lessons of Vivec is a scam. These could easily be 1 or 2 books. I think you need to have fun with this stuff. Again, it's like poetry, you know, poetry like kind of like has like a very specific thing, but it runs on for a while. This is basically poetry. It's like basically the imagery of it. It's not just all about, like, the story. It's basically the way it's being told. I'm really enjoying this, actually. I really like how this is being explained, especially with the knowledge that I have of the Elder Scrolls. and it gives me a sense of wonder. So it's very poetic. And as someone that minors in creative writing, I love this shit. So phosphorescent is like fluorescence. Okay, phosphorescent. Okay, okay. I see now. The glow mirror of the sky. All right. I will say we're not going to be doing this all in one stream. We're hitting almost 2 hours and we're only on sermon 11. We'll see how far I go. I doubt we're going to get halfway through, honestly, but maybe we'll reach 15 or 16. We'll see. So yeah, we'll read sermon 11 now. That was a joke. I meant he's a money grubber. Oh, sorry. That is a joke. He's a money grubber who could have fit it all into 2 books. Yeah. He's a scammer. He's scamming us. Vivec, the warrior scammer. The scammer poet. All right. These were the days of Resdania, when Chimer and Dwenmer lived under the wise and benevolent rule of the Almcivi, and their champion, the Hortator. When the gods of the Loth would retreat unto their own, to mold the cosmos and the matters, and other matters, the Hortator would at times become confused. Vivec would always be there to advise him, and this is the first 3 lessons of ruling kings. Okay. So at this point in time, the Chimer and Dwemer live as one under the benevolent rule of the Almcivi. So the Almcivi at this point in time are kings. They're not gods yet. At least I don't think so. They don't become gods until after Red Mountain, when they usurp the heart of Lorcan. So at this point, they're kings, and their champion is basically, Nerevar. So, the waking world is the amnesia of dream. All motifs can be mortally wounded. Once slain, themes turn into the structure of future nostalgia. Do not abuse your powers, or they will lead you astray. They will leave you like rebellious daughters. They will lose their virtue. They will become lost and resentful, and finally become pregnant of folly. Soon you will be their grandparent of a broken state. You will be mocked. It will fall apart like a stone that recalls that it is really water. This is like every conservative parent ever. What the fuck? They will leave you like rebellious daughters. What? Okay. Like rebellious daughters that will go and get pregnant at like 18 or whatever. What the fuck? What the hell was that? This gave me like a flash of just like reality for a second. The fuck? All right, whatever. Keep nothing in your house that is neither needed or beautiful. Ordeals you should face unimpeded by the world of restriction. The splendor of stars is Aem's domain. The selfishness of the sea is Set's. I rule the middle air. All else is earth and under your temporal command. There is no bone, the Elnathe. There is no bone that cannot be broken except for the heart bone. You will see it twice in your lifetimes. Take what you can the first time, and let us do the rest. Damn, okay. So this gives me the sense that I have things to say about this then. There is no true symbolism of the center. The Sharmat Dagothur. The Sharmat will believe there is. He will feel that he can cause years of exuberance from sitting in the sacred, where really no one can leave that state and cause anything more but strife. There is more the case of the symbolic and barren. The true prince that is cursed and demonized, will it be adored at last with the full hearts. According to the codes of Mephala, there can be no official art, only fixation points of complexity that will erase the awe of people given enough time. This is a secret that hides another, and impersonal survival is not the way of the ruling king. Embrace the art of the people and marry it. By that, I mean secretly have it murdered. Okay. The ruling king that sees in another his equivalent rules nothing. The secret of weapons is this: they are at the mercy seat. The secret of language is this: it is immobile. The ruling king is armored head to toe in brilliant flame. He is redeemed by each act he undertakes. His death is only a diagram back to the waking world. Kime. He sleeps the second way. The Sharmat is his double, and therefore you wonder if you rule nothing. Hortator and Sharmat, 1 and 1, 11, an inelegant number. Which of the ones is the more important? Could you ever tell if they switched places? I can, and that is why you will need me. According to the codes of Mafala, there is no difference between the theorist and the terrorist. Even the most cherished desire disappears in their hands. This is why Mafala has black hands, the Morag Tong. Bring both of yours to every argument. The one-handed king finds no remedy. When you approach God, however, cut both of them off. God has no need of theory, and he is armored head to toe in terror. The ending of the words is Om Sivi. Murdering as in replacing it like the three good Daedra and the tribunal. That could be it. God damn it, I keep thinking everything literally. Whenever I saw the murder thing, I thought that was like foreshadowing Vivec and the tribunal murdering Nerevar. It could have a double meaning though. It could be both killing the belief in the three good Daedra and worshipping the tribunal, and also the slaughter of Nerevar Indoril as well. This is intense. This is far more intense than I thought. I'm really liking this. The only reason why I'm thinking I would stop is because it's getting warm in my room, because my laptop is like constantly fanning and getting warm, and my door's closed, which makes it like really hot. And also my voice is going to go if I keep talking any longer. But honestly, hell yeah, I would keep going. This is intense. I really do like this. 12, 24. Wait, 8, 16. Wait, fuck. Wait, so what is 12? So if I ended at sermon 12, that would be a third. Okay, that would be a third. All right. I might end it on sermon 12. We'll see. So yeah, free my boy, mourn his house, Dagoth is innocent. Your throat good? Yeah, no, my throat's fine ultimately. It's just like I can't talk for so long or else I will literally... I just remember what sermon 12 was. I just saw a word. Hang on, that's the one. I just remembered that's the one where I can't... I'm afraid to like show it. So I'm going to have to like read it with this camera right here. So yeah, I forgot about that. What the hell? Why is my thing here showing my poll? What is that about? Damn it, I can't like point correctly. Yeah, what was that? Anyways. But yeah, no, it's intense. My throat's fine. I just don't want to speak for too long because I'll lose my voice. And I do a lot of like singing and stuff, so I don't want to like die from that. But yeah, all right. So now we're going to start Sermon 12. Sermon 12 is the one that talks about, it has certain words, and it has some more promiscuous themes. Actually, I might need to read 12, 13, and 14 together. I might need to do that because they kind of all tell like a story together. So I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to read 12, 13, and 14, and then we'll read 15 so we end on a better note. And then I'll probably end at Sermon 16. I think that's what I'm going to do. So yeah. Let us start with Sermon 12. Get this man some Canis root tea. Hell yeah. Huh, joined just at the right time then. Hell yeah, you did. You joined at the best sermon, my guy. Is the next chapter with Molag Bal and Trinimac? I'm not sure about Trinimac, but I know Molag Bal. It's the Molag Bal one, so, you know. Wait. Brilliant flame is the fire of knowledge, knowledge of the world being a dream. Dagoth thinks he is the one dreaming this dream, which is why he is the ruling king's double. I don't know what you mean by ruling king's double. But brilliant flame is the fire. Okay, hang on a second. We're going to go back to YouTube viewing and not have Sermon 12 show up. His death is only a diagram. Well, wait, brilliant flame is the fire. Oh, okay, never mind. Nothing to do with his death. Okay, never mind. Brilliant flame is the fire of knowledge, knowledge of the world being a dream. Dagoth thinks he is the one dreaming this dream, which is why he is ruling. He is the ruling king's double. I don't know what you mean by ruling king's double. But the dream has no dreamer. Not necessarily. The dream might have a dreamer. That's only like a thing that Pelinal said. What's it like being insane? It's, or however he is, being God touched or whatever. Like when a dream no longer has a dreamer. Although I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. We're getting into the most esoteric shit possible that I know that it's getting beyond me now. We're entering outside of my domain. So yeah. Wait, what about the Godhead? Oh, I don't even want to go there. That's like a whole other thing. But yeah, so his death is only a diagram. We should definitely do another live stream where I talk about the commentaries on the Mysterium Xarxes. It'll be a much shorter live stream, but that'd be fun. Anyways, so now we're going to go and read the 12th sermon. And I will have to censor certain things, but you can read it yourself, and you'll probably get the idea. So yeah. As the Hortator pondered the first lesson of ruling kings, Vivec wandered into the Mournhold, and found that AM was with a pair of lovers. Nice. Glad she can be happy with herself. Set had divided himself again. Okay. I don't know what that means. Vivec then leapt through into their likeness to observe, but he gained no secrets that he did not already know. He left a few of his own behind to make a journey worthwhile. Then Vivec left the capital of Veloth and wandered far into the ash. Excuse me. He found a span of badlands to practice his giant form, to become big, I guess. He made of his feet a less dense material than the divine to keep him from falling waist deep into the earth. At this point, the first corner of the House of Troubles, the Prince Molag Bal, made his presence known. Vivec looked on the king of stuff and said, "How very beautiful you are, that you do not join us." And Molag Bal crushed the warrior poet's feet, which were not invulnerable, and had legions cleave them off. Mighty fires from the beginning place were brought like nets to hold Vivec, and he let them. I would prefer, he said, some kind of ceremony if we are to be married. And the legions that took the feet were summoned again, and ordered to begin a banquet. The pomegranates sprang from the Badlands, and tents were raised. A throng of Velothi mystics came, reading the passages of the severed feet on the ground, and weeping until the scriptures were wet. We must love each other briefly, Vivec said, if at all. I am needed to counsel the Hortator in more important matters because the Dwemeri high priests stir up trouble. You may have my head for an hour. Molag Bal rose up to extend his 6 arms to show his worth. They were decorated in runes of seduction and its reverse. They were decorated in the annotated calendars of longer worlds. When he spoke, mating monsters fell out. Where must it go, he said. I told you, Vivec said. I am meant to be the teacher of the king of the earth, A. Altadun Gartok Padme. I forget exactly what Altadun means, but yeah. Wait, actually, let me look up what Altadun means before we go any further, because that's something that's being said repeatedly. Altadun means weapon. Okay, we already went over that. Gartok means weapon too, I think. Never mind. With these magic words, the king of something that you know added another, Kim, which is the secret syllable of royalty. Vivec had what he needed from the Daedroth. Is Fa-Nui's hen here? From the Daedroth. I don't know who the Daedroth is in this moment. Weapon hand is Altadun. Okay. I forget what Gartok is again. So married him that day. In the hour that Baal had his head, the king of you-know-what asked for proof of love. Vivec spoke 2 poems to show him such, but only the first is known. I'm not sure just how much glass it took to make your hair. Twice as much, I am sure, as the oceans have to share. Hell, my sweet, is a fiction written by those who tell the truth. My mouth is skilled at lying, and its alibi a tooth. The sons and daughters of Vivec and Molag Bal number in the thousands. The name of the mightiest is a string of power. Gulag Morgil, Hayet Ehum. The ending of the words is Olmsivi. Gartog is weapon hand? Yeah, maybe. Since they are names for ESO Scroll Temple. Yeah, I remember that. Okay, yeah, you said that before. Gulag Morgil. Oh, that's something in Sermon 34. We'll find out what that is. All right. So yeah, so now we go on to Sermon 13. So Vivec is getting married to Molag Bal for whatever reason, whatever purpose this serves, we will no doubt see. So yeah. These were the days of Resdania, when Chimer and Dwemer lived. Wait, this is the same thing as Sermon 11. Yeah, that is the same thing. Lived under the wise and benevolent rule of Almsivi, the champion of the Hortator, when the gods of Veloth would retreat unto their own to mold the cosmos and other matters. The Hortator would become confused. Vivec would always be there to advise him, la-di-da-di-da, we already read this. The secret syllable of royalty is this. And then it says in parentheses, you must, actually I could probably show you this. You must learn this elsewhere. Sermon 12. Okay, it's Kim. It's Kim. The secret syllable of royalty is Kim. The temporal myth of man is man. The temporal myth is man. The magical cross is an integration of the worth of mortals at the expense of their spirits. Surround it with the triangle, and you begin to see the triune house, the tribunal temple. It becomes divided into corners, which are ruled by our brethren, the 4 corners, Baal, Dagon, Malak, Sheog, which are Molag Bal, Mayern's Dagon, Malakath, and Sheogorath. Rotate the triangle and you pierce the heart of the beginning place, the orbis, the foul lie, the testament of the irrefutable 4 span. Above them all is the horizon, where only the one stands, though no one stands there yet. It is proof of the new. It is the promise of the wise. Unfold the whole, and what you have is a star, which is not my domain, but not entirely outside my judgment. The grand design takes flight. It is transformed not only into a star, but a hornet. The center cannot hold. It becomes devoid of lines and points. It becomes devoid of anything and so becomes receptible. This is the usefulness at the end. This is the promise. The sword is the cross, and Almsivi is the triune house around it. If there is to be an end, I must be removed. The ruling king must know this, and I will test him. I will murder him time and again until he knows this. I am the defender of the last and the last. To remove me is to refill the heart that lay dormant and center that cannot hold. I am the sword. I am the star, set the mechanism that allows the transformation of the world. Ours is the duty to keep the compromise from being filled with the Black Sea. The Black Sea being oblivion. The Sharmat sleeps at the center. He cannot bear to see it removed. The world of reference, this is the folly of the false dreamer. This is the amnesia of dream, or its power, or its circumvention. This is the weaker magic that is barbed in venom. This is why I say the secret to sword is the mercy seat. The secret to swords is the mercy seat, is mercy. It is my throne. I am become the voice of Almsivi. The world will know me more than my sister and brother. I am the psychopomp. I don't know what that word means. I am the killer of weeds. I'm the killer of the weeds of Veloth. Veloth is the center that cannot hold. Am is the plot. Set is the ending. I am the enigma that must be removed. These are why my words are armed to the teeth. The ruling king is to stand against me, and then before me. He is to learn from my punishment. I will mark him now. He is to come as male or female. I am the form he must acquire. Because a ruling king that sees in another his equivalent rules nothing. This is what was said to the Hortator when Vivec was not whole. The ending of the words is Almsivi. Kin means royalty or kings, yes. The Black Sea can also be seen as the ancient sea that Dagoth brings, the compromise in the Mundus. The compromise is the Mundus. That could be true, yes. So, yeah, I won't be able to read. I'll read the 14th one, but I'm going to have to read it here. But before we continue, let me move my thing there. Psychopomp, a conductor or of souls to the afterworld. Okay. I am the conductor of souls to the afterworld. I am the killer of the weeds of Veloth. Veloth is the center. Okay. And this right here, the sword is the cross, and Almsivi is the triune house around it. If there is to be an end, I must be removed. If there is to be an end to the world, Vivec cannot exist. So this is kind of like, I'm assuming this part right here, if there is to be an end, I must be removed, is a, basically a nod to Alduin. How when Vivec dies, or when Vivec is no longer, existing in the world, that feeds into the prophecy of Alduin, of the last Dragonborn, that stuff. That is how the only way Alduin returns, the only way the world ends, is for Vivec to be removed, either to be killed, or for him to go off into a whole other world. At least that's my interpretation. I could be wrong. The ruling king must know this, and I will test him. I will murder him time and again, until he knows this. And this is referring time and again the cavern of the incarnate, murdering the incarnations of Nerevar Indoril until he knows this. Until the prophecy of the incarnate is fully realized. I am the defender of the last and the last. To remove me is to refill the heart and that lay dormant. I'm not sure what refill the heart means. And at the center that cannot hold, Red Mountain. So this is all foreshadowing the prophecy and the last dragonborn prophecy. I am the sword, AM, the set, all that stuff. Okay. It's weird how many interpretations there can be. Honestly, you can interpret like any one of these like lines in like 17 different ways. It's wild. It's genuinely wild. So now we're gonna go to just camera. So that I just thought that was really cool. The foreshadowing of the Nerevar prophecies. Vivec knows what is going to happen. He has achieved, I don't know, but he knows somehow that this is going to happen. Well, maybe not knows, because he wrote this after he ascended to godhood. So he could just be like, oh yeah, I totally know this. Here, let me show you. So yeah, this was all written by Michael Kirkbride at once, right? This was written by Michael Kirkbride in the span of like a week or a weekend. Basically, what I heard is that he locked himself in a room to basically write all of this. And he never left that room for like a weekend or a week. And the only way he got like food and water is like someone slipped it under his door. And originally there weren't supposed to be 36 of these lessons. There were supposed to be like 6 or 16, and he went very overboard. Which is why we have all of these. So, yes, these were all written by Michael Kirkbride himself. But yeah, and also the idea, the rumor that he was high when he made this is incorrect, as far as I heard. Vivec basically zoomed across the timeline of a YouTube video. He knew some stuff would happen, but not really a lot about them. Yeah. Vivec knows because he achieved Kim, and also the 36 lessons are written in Vivec's second life, the life where he was always a god. So he knows the future from his first life. That's a lot to unpack, Robbie Kirkwood, who might be the child of Kirkbride. I don't know. Name's very similar. But yeah, that's a lot to unpack there. I don't even know myself there. Vivec knows because he has achieved Kim, and also the 36 lessons are written in Vivec's second life. They're written after all. Well, you're kind of saying what I said, but differently, I feel. Vivec's second life, so he knows the future from his first life, but it's not the future of his first life, it's his past. But it doesn't matter because it's all poetic and it sounds cool as shit. And Vivec is full of contradictions, so it all works. You're not wrong. But yeah, Anyways, all right. This is why Vivec says he must have been born before in Sermon 2. Oh. Yeah, that is true. His past life. Fuck. There's so much. Oh god, there's so much to unpack. I don't think I'm ever going to make a video about the 36 lessons of Vivec. I need to be like in an entire chat with people. I need to make that script with 16 people. I need to make a Word doc and have a bunch of people in it. I would never be able to write a script about the 36 lessons of Vivec on my own. Damn, you're right. Yeah. Oh my god, it is a lot. Anyways, we're on to the 14th sermon. Vivec lay with Molag Bal for 80 days and 8. So 88 days. Though headless, in that time, the prince placed the warrior poet's feet back and filled them with the blood of Daedra. In this way, Vivec's giant form remained forever harmless to good earth. The pomegranate banquet brought many spirits back from the dead, so that the sons and daughters of the union had much to eat besides fruit. The Duke of Scamps came. You know, I wonder if the Duke of Scamps could be Barbas. Because Barbas in Morrowind is a scamp. I don't know. Came with the banquet, was still underway, and Molag Bal looked on the 7 penance, which was talked about earlier, with anger. The king of you-know-what had become necessary, and therefore troubled for the rest of time. His legions of Kuata fell into open war, but the children of Molag Bal and Vivec were too elaborate in power and form. The Duke of Scamps therefore became a lesser thing, as did all his own children. Molag Bal said to them, "You are the sons of liars, dogs, and wolf-headed women. They have been useless to summon ever since." The Holy One returned at last. Vec, golden with wisdom, his head found its body and had been tenderly used. He mentioned this to Molag Bal, who told him that he should thank the barons of move like this, for I have yet to learn how to refine my rapture. My love is accidentally shaped like a spear. So Vivec, who had a grain of Aem's mercy, set about to teach Molag Bal in the ways of belly magic. Prostitution. Sex. They took their spears out and compared them. Okay, there really isn't any metaphorical way to look at this. So, you know, Vivec bit new... Okay, this is the thing. All right, Vivec bit new words unto the king of you-know-whats, so that it might give more than ruin to the uninitiated. This has since become a forbidden ritual, though people still practice it in secret. Here is why. The Valathi and demons and monsters that were watching all took out their own spears. Okay, I think that's just literal. They like their own, okay. Comparing power? That could be it. You're right there. It could be comparing power. Took out their own spears. There was much biting, and the earth became wet. And this was the last laugh of Molag Bal. Watch as the earth shall crack, heavy with so much power, you mentioned power, lusty Argonian Maida writing, goddamn right. Heavy with so much power that should have been forever unlike. Then that stretch of Badlands that had been the site of marriage fragmented and through fire, and a race that is no more, but that was terrible at the time to behold, came forth. The Dwemer? Born of the biters, that is all they did, and they ran amok across the lands of Veloth, Morrowind, and even to the shores of Red Mountain. But Vivec made of his spear a more terrible thing. From a secret he had bitten off from the king of you-know-what. And so he sent Molag Bal tumbling into the crack of the biters, and swore forever that he would not deem the king beautiful ever again. Vivec wept as he slew all those around him with his terrible new spear. He named it Muatra, which is milk taker. Milk taker. And even the Chimeri mystics knew his fury. Anyone struck by Vivec at this time turned barren and withered into bone shapes. The path of bones became a sentence for the stars to read, and the heavens have never known children since. Vivec hunted down the biters one by one, and all their progeny, and he killed them by means of the 9 apparitunes, and the wise still hide theirs from Muatra. The ending of the words is Om Sivi. So I think it's both power and yeah. So the idea of it being power, comparing power, I like the sound of that. That does make sense. Vivec bit off a piece of Molag Bal's power and used it to slaughter all those around him. The monsters that were around him, who might be the children of Vivec and Molag Bal. I'm not entirely sure there. And perhaps this power is formed into the Muatra. So, wait, what? I paid $5 for nothing? Wait, what's happening? Hold up, what? Did I miss something? Not even gonna get a shout out? Wait, what? Hold on 1 second. Did Streamlabs not tell me of this? Was I given a super chat and I can't see it? Alex AF, did you do a super chat or something? Yeah, we'll pause it real quick. I can't see anything like that. I don't know if I received it or not. I see nothing here. I apologize if I did. I cannot see it for some reason. But yeah, if so, thank you, Alex AF. I can't see it for some reason, but I apologize if I was unable to see it. I do sincerely apologize. I can't channel activity. Yeah, I can't see anything like that. I apologize though. Anyways, going back, Robbie Kirkwood. The YouTube channel Memospore has a podcast episode on each sermon of Vivec. They explain a lot. One of them even knows Kirkbride. I'm going to look that up. Memosphere. If so, I drive a lot, so I actually might listen to them. Memosphere. 36 lessons. Oh, this is Alex from CT. Oh, shit. Oh, okay. Wait, I know this person in real life. Okay. Fuck you, Alex. Damn it, I got so confused for a second. You'll get a shout out. Don't worry, dude. You'll get a shout out in the video. You have to wait. You have to wait, all right? You have to wait. All right, I know. Damn it. Okay, yeah. I my heart skipped a beat for a second. I thought there was a super chat I didn't see. I'm on my actual YouTube account. Okay. That's why I don't see you as a member. Gotcha. Don't worry. You'll be getting a shout out. Don't worry. All right. So, Memosphere 36 Lessons of Vivec. By the way, Alex, none of this shit that I'm talking about you will ever get. Ever. Just so you know. All right. So, 36 lessons. Is this these guys? Oh, no, this is just reading it. Or it could be explaining it. Yeah, I can't find them. Memosphere. Memosphere, not sphere. None of us get it. It's okay. Yeah. And then you see me reading the 36 lessons. Oh, here they are. Okay, I see it now. Selectives Lorecast, 95. Sermon 4 of the 36 lessons. All right, I see. Shout out to these guys, I guess. Yeah, they only have 1,000 views. I'll have to watch that at some point. Yeah, one of the... Okay, I see now. I'll definitely take a look at that whenever I'm driving. Because, I drive a fuckload. I'll look at that whenever I'm driving Sunday. All right, sermon 15. So we'll get to 16, so we're actually halfway, because that would mean that next time, whenever I do this, we'll be halfway. So yeah. All right. I know it makes zero sense. Yeah, there's yeah, no, you ain't gonna understand shit. All right. So now it's time for sermon 15, which should be a lot less sexual, a lot less penis and stuff. Well, power that is being metaphoricalized as that, but you know. All right. So yeah, sermon 15. These were the days of Resdania. Did we read this part too? Is this a repeat of something? I don't know. We'll read it anyways. These were the days of Resdania, when Keimer and Dwemer lived under the wise and benevolent ruler of Almsivi, and their champion, the Hortator, the Nerevarine. When the gods of Veloth would retreat unto their own to mold the cosmos and other matters, the Hortator would at times become confused. Okay, we already read this. All right. The ruling king will remove me, his maker. This is the way of all children. His greatest enemy is the Sharmat, Dagoth-Ur, who is the false dreamer. You or he is the shingle, Hortator. Beware the wrong walking path. Beware the crime of benevolence. Behold him by his words. Isn't 18 middle point though? 36 divided by 2. Fuck. Well, you know what? 16, 18, same thing. Tomato, tomato. Tomato, tomato. It's fine. It's fine. But yeah. Anyways. Behold him by his words. Molag Bal's blank is a symbol for the ability of creation, maybe. It could be that too. I think it's just power. But yeah. I am the Sharmat. I am older than music. What I bring is light. What I bring is star. What I bring is an ancient sea. When you sleep, you see me, dancing at the core. It is not a blight. It is my house. I put a star into the world's mouth to murder it. Tear down the pylons. My blind fish. Swim in the new, whatever the fuck that word is. Flazog. I'm not even gonna. I don't know. Tear down the pylons, my deaf moons, sing and burn, and orbit me. I am older than music. What I bring is light. What I bring is star. What I bring is an ancient sea. You come alone, though you come again and again, symbolizing the Nerevarine prophecy coming over and over again, can unmake him. Whether I allow it is within my wisdom. Go unarmed into his den, Dagoth-Ur's facility. With these words of power, A Gartok, Padme, Kim, in quotations, A Altadun, or do not. A temporal myth is man. Reach heaven by violence. This magic I give to you. The world you will rule is only an intermittent hope that you must be the letter written in uncertainty. The ending of the words is Almsivi. Towers of Nirn, Falagash, whatever that word is fire in alchemy, a source. Okay, pylons. The music here is the words that created the world. So Dagoth-Ur is saying that he is older than the world. Interesting. I like this part. I mean, I like the parts that like I'm able to like recognize. When you sleep, you see me dancing at the core. It is not a blight. It is my house. Showing that Dagoth, like, is this, because this is what Dagoth-Ur is saying, right? His greatest enemy, you or he is a shingle, beware. Behold him by his words. So this is Dagoth-Ur in his words. I am older than music. He is older than the world itself. And that whenever you see him in your sleep, it is his house. He is inviting you into his house. Tear down the pylons. As someone said, 36 lessons of Vivec is sermon, 12, 14 are just smut for gamers. Hell yeah. 36 lessons are a good example of how so much detail can be in seemingly nothing. Yeah, honestly. Like none of this stuff really matters in the end in the grand scheme of things, but yeah, it's really I just like it. It's fucking cool. Especially again, as someone who's a minor in creative writing. This shit's just cool to me. Um so yeah. So now we will go to sermon 16. You know what? I'm really enjoying this. I might go to 18. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Because I am enjoying the shit out of this. This is actually fun. Like I know that this live stream isn't gonna do as well as if I played if I just played Skyrim or some shit. I only have like 29 views right now as opposed to whenever I do Skyrim I'll have like 40 or 50. But I'm having so much fun with this. I love it. I don't even care. All right, sermon 16. What kind of stuff do you write? I actually, so this is like a bit off topic from this, and I'll get to sermon 16. But I actually have my own fantasy world that I've created that has been inspired by Morrowind and the Tribunal and stuff like that. And I have like my whole world that's similar to like the Elder Scrolls but different. And one of the biggest differences is that like the elves were actually created by man. They were created by an individual, a human named Vemvala. But yeah, I basically have my own like world. I've written some like pieces and stuff like that. But yeah, and it's inspired by a lot of this stuff as well. So yeah, that's kind of like the stuff that I write. I also do a bunch of like as Alex AF said, where he knew me from CT. That's a thing called Carolina Tonight, which is a sketch comedy group. So I also write comedy sketches as well. So that's a lot of like the writing stuff that I do. So yeah, and I might actually like share some of it. It's something that like I definitely like really want to like do a lot of. Hell yeah, I'm also trying to create a fantasy series. That sounds really cool. You should post it if you finish a book. I have a book done that's like 20 pages, but I fucking hate it. I do have, I think it's like 4 or 5 pages that I really do like, and it's like I can show it at some point, but not now. Anyways, Vivec leaving a rock above his city, knowing full well that he hasn't tapped the heart for power for the last couple centuries. Yeah. All right. Sermon 16. Have to go, but I'm definitely looking forward to the next one. Bye, guys. Goodbye, Ninja Parkour TV. Remember always, the ending of the words is Om Sivi. And House Telvani be with you. All right. Sermon 16. The Hortator wandered the morning hold, wrestling with the lessons he had learned. They were slippery in his mind. He could not always keep the words straight, and knew that this was a danger. He wandered to find Vivec, his lord and master, the glory of the image of Veloth, and found him of all places in the temple of false thinking, of Boethia. There, clockwork shears were taking off Vivec's hair. A beggar king had brought his loom and was making of the hair an incomplete map of adulthood and death. Vivec said, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this, my lord?" Nerevar said, "Why are you doing this, my lord?" Vivec said, "To make room for the fire." I know what this is a reference to. And the Hortator could see that Vivec was out of sorts, though not because of the impending new power to come. The golden warrior poet had been exercising his water face as well. So he's not divided in half yet between Gold and between Keimer and Dunmer. He is solely Keimer, as are all of them, as is Sotha Seal. So that's why he's being referred to as the golden warrior poet. Okay. Had been exercising his water face as well. Learned from the dregs before he was born. The fuck? Okay, I see. Learned from, like, his birth and all that. Or his consummation, I should say. Vivec said, "Is this to keep you from the fire?" Vivec said, "It is so that I may see with truth. It and my place here at the altar of Padme, in the house of false thinking, Boethia, serve so that I may see beyond my own secrets. The water face cannot lie. It comes from the ocean, which is too busy to think, much less lie. Moving water resembles truth by its trembling. Nerevar said, I am afraid to become slipshod in my thinking. Vivec said, reach heaven by violence then. So to quiet his mind, Hortator chose from the fight racks an axe. He named it and moved on to the first moon. The first moon, is that Masser? I don't know. So to quiet his mind, the Hortator chose from the fight racks an axe. He named it and moved on to the first moon. The ocean is symbol of memory in the sermons. Okay. The fire's Kim, the fire of knowledge. Okay. Gotcha. I thought like the fire was Vivec head on fire. Vivec head on fire. I thought it had to do with like this, which is kind of like how Vivec is supposed to be seen. That's what I was assuming this was, but it could be both actually. Again, with these like double like stuff, yeah. There, Nerevar was greeted by the Parliament of Craters, who knew him by title and resented his presence, for he was to be a ruling king of Earth, and this was the lunar realm. They shifted around him in a pattern of entrapment. The moon does not recognize crowns or scepters, they said, nor the representatives of kingdoms below, lion or serpent, or mathematician. We are the graves of those that have migrated and become ancient countries. We seek no queens or thrones. Your appearance is decidedly solar, which is to say, a library of stolen ideas. We are neither tear nor sorrow. Our revolution succeeded in the manner that is written. Was written. You are the Hortator and unwelcome here. So this is okay. So Parliament of Craters says that he is unwelcome here. All right, whoever the Parliament of Craters is, and so Nerevar carved at the grave ghosts until he was out of breath, and their Parliament could make no new laws. So Nerevar fucking carved them up with his axe. He said, "I am not of the slave that perish. I am not of the slaves that perish." Of the members of Parliament, only a few survived the Hortator's attack. A surviving Crater said, "Appropriation is nothing new. Everything happens of itself. This motif is by no means unassociated with hero myths, the protagonists of each game. You have not acted with the creative impulse. You fall below the weight of destiny." The Elder Scroll. What? Adrian, you fall below the weight of destiny. We are graves, but not coffins. Know the difference. We are graves, but not coffins. Know the difference. You have only dug more and supplied no ghosts to reside within. Central to your claim is the predominance of frail events. To be judged by the earth is to sit on the throne of wonder, why. Damage us more, and you will find naught but the absence of our dead. The ending of the words is Civi. The slaves that perish line is basically straight out of Aleister Crowley's Book of the Law. I really need to read Aleister Crowley. I've read up on Aleister Crowley a little bit, but not on his actual work, just who he is as an individual. And he's kind of a freak, but Michael Kirkbride's a freak. They're all fucking freaks here. No sane fucker writes this shit. But yeah. That's cool, though, that's the case. All right. So we're going to read Sermon 17. We're going to read halfway, I'd say, because we are nearing the 3-hour mark. And I do want to actually relax, calm down, play some games, edit my my next video, which is all about giants. So we're going to get to 18 because I am having a lot of goddamn fun with this. Hopefully 18 doesn't end on a cliffhanger. Hopefully it ends pretty nicely. We'll see. But again, Heaven by Violence. I'm really loving this shit. I think I'm going to adopt the Heaven by Violence stuff into my own writings in my own world. But yeah. All right. Sermon 17. I am an atlas of smoke. With this, Vivec become greater than he had been. These were the days of Resdania, where Chimer and Dwemer lived under the wise and benevolent rule of Almcivi and their champion, Hortator. We read this. Seek me without effort, for I take many shapes. The Hortator was trying to subdue the heavens with an axe. He was thrown out of the library of the sun by the power of Magnus. Vivec found him in a grub field outside of the swamps of the Deshan plain. They walked for a span in silence, for Nerevar had been humbled, and Vivec still had mercy in his hand. Soon they were walking across the eastern sea, to the land of the snakes and snow demons, to the land of Akavir. Vivec wanted to show the Hortator that the fighting styles of foreign tongues. They learned the idiom stroke from the pillow book of the Saesi king. It is shaped like the insight of this page. Okay. The Saesi serpent vowed to have their vengeance on the west at least 3 times. Talking about the 3 times that the Akavir invaded. Interesting. They walked farther and saw the spiked waters at the edge of the map. Here the spirit of limitation gifted them with a spoke and bade them find the rest of the wheel. So they reached the end of the map, the end of the edge of the world. Holy shit, the flat earthers were right. The Hortator said, the edge of the world is made of swords. Vivec corrected him. They are the bottom row of the world's teeth. They walked to the north to the Elder Wood at Mora, and found nothing but frozen, bearded kings. They came to the west, where the black men dwelt. West, the black men dwelt. This is the Yokudans, okay. For a year they studied under the sword saints, and then for another, Vivec taught them the virtue of the little reward. Vivec chose a king for a wife, and made another race of monsters which ended up destroying the West completely. To a warrior chief, Vivec said, we must not act and speak as if asleep. Nerevar wondered if there was anything to learn in the south, but Vivec remained silent and only led them back to Red Mountain. Here, Vivec said, is the last of the last. Within it, the Sharmat awaits. But they both knew that the time was not ready. The contest, the Sharmat, and so the contest to, fucking hell. But they both knew that the time was not ready to contest the Sharmat, and so they engaged in combat with each other. Vivec marked the Hortator in this way for all of the Valathi to see. He sealed the wound with the blessing of Azura. Am and Azura. At the end of the battle, the Hortator found that he had gathered 7 more spokes. He attempted to attach them and form a staff, but Vivec would not let him, saying, it is not the time for that. Could that refer to the staff that they used to impale Nerevar? Who knows? Wasn't there a giant skeleton in Morrowind that was of celestial origin? I have absolutely no idea. Does that mean Vivec created the left-handed elves? They came to the west where the black man dwelt. For a year they studied under sword saints. No. I think the previous Kalpa was before Vivec. So I'm assuming not. I don't think so. Yeah. that was Satakal. I don't know. But yeah, probably not. But the left-handed elves were the ones who were destroyed. Maybe he caused the devastation of Yokuda, which caused the Ragada migration. So I might be confused about the Regatta and the left-handed elves, but I'm under the assumption that the left-handed elves and the Yokudans were part of the previous Kalpa. The Kalpa before Mundus existed. Now, I could be wrong on that. That is what I have been led to believe. So if that's true, I feel like Vivec, who is of this Kalpa, and maybe of the previous Kalpa, of his previous life, as someone else had said, I don't know. But that is my assumption on the matter. I believe the left-handed elves are from the previous Kalpa before Vivec existed. But I don't know. They might be. Maybe this is all about the previous Kalpa. This could be about them traveling into the previous Kalpa. But again, they're talking about Yokuda, which exists in the current Kalpa. Or not. Damn it, I have no idea. I don't know if Yokuda was in the previous Kalpa or not. I don't know. But I do know that the Red Guards were part of the previous Kalpa and were able to survive the destruction by walking in different ways or something along those lines. But again, I could be wrong. This is the most esoteric of shit. So yeah. So I think the left-handed elves were from a Kalpa where elves worshipped Lorcan and humans hated him. That could be true. Because the left-handed elves are like left-handed as in different from everyone else. So yeah. I don't think it matters that Vivec didn't technically exist yet. Other mortal cum gods managed to be in 2 times at once. That is true. Look at Riemann Cyrodiil. Pellinal Whitestrake was able to rip out the flesh of Gordour, I think it was. And as he ripped out his flesh from his neck, he screamed out Riemann's name before anyone even knew he existed and before Riemann was even born. So it could be that Vivec existed before he existed. Another contradiction. So that could be the case. So, it's not time for that. But I don't know. I think I've lost track. I don't know if I finished Sermon 17 or not. Blessings of AM at Tazura. At the end of the battle. Okay, spokes. There's not time for that. Vivec said that they had collected them from around the world, though some had come invisibly. I am the wheel, he said, and took that shape. Before the emptiness at the center could live to long, Nerevar spoke. Nerevar put in the spokes, the ending of the words is Om Sivi. Okay, we already read that. Now we're on to Sermon 18. I think this is similar to how dragons comprehend time in different ways. That could be true. Goddamn, I might need to read up on Kalpas too. I might be thinking of Kalpas differently. The concept of Kalpas may be specific to dragons. That could be it. I don't know. But yeah, that could be it. So here we are, our final sermon for this live stream. Here we go. Now Vivec felt that he had taught the Hortator as much as he could before the war with the Dwemer came. The warrior poet decided he had to begin his Book of Hours at that point, because the world was about to bend with its age. Vivec entered the morning hold and announced to AM that he was going to fight 9 monsters that had escaped the Muatra. The Muatra escaped his power. Okay, so these are the 9 monsters that were a product of Vivec and Molag Bal's consummation, I believe. So, with the day... Okay. I will return, he said, to deal the last blow. Reading the first letter of each paragraph forms a hidden message, foul murder. Deal the last blow. Said, deal the last blow to the grand architect of the Dwemer. To kill Kagranak, I assume. AM said, out of 9 you will find only 8. Though they may be mighty, The last is already destroyed by your decision to create the Book of Hours. Vivec understood that AM meant himself. Why, she asked, are you in doubt? Vivec knew that his doubt made him the sword of the Triune, and so he did not feel shame or fear. Instead, he explained, and these are the words. Can a member of the Invisible Gate become so archaic that its successor is not so much an improvement of the exact model, but rather a related model that is just needed more because of the currency of the world's condition? As the mother, you do not have to worry, unless things in the future are so strange that even Set cannot understand them. Neither does the executioner or the fool, but I am neither. No idea who they are. These ideals are not going to change in nature, even though they may change in representation. But even in the West, the Rainmaker vanishes. Shazar. No one needs him anymore. Can one oust the model not because the model is set according to an ideal, but because it is tied to an ever-changing unconscious mortal agenda? This is what was said to Am when Vivec was whole. The wise shall not mistake this. Am said, this is why you were born of a Nechaman's wife, and destined to merge with the simulacrum of your mother. Guild and blended in all the arts of the star-wounded East, under water, and in fire, and in metal, and in ash, 6 times the wise, to become the union of male and female, the magical hermaphrodite, the martial axiom, the sex change of language, and unique in all the middle world. Vivec knew then why he would record his Book of Hours. This sermon is forbidden. In this world and others, 18 less than 1, the victor is the magical disc hurled to reach heaven by violence. This sermon is untrue. 18 and 1 going 18 less than 1. Oh, wait, hang on a second. The ending of the words is Om Sivi. 18 less than 1 goes to the Rimanada. Very interesting. So this sermon is forbidden. So yeah, that was the first half of the 36 lessons of Vivec. Next week, I am probably going to be doing the second half. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I have a lot of insight. Well, hang on a second. Let me analyze the 18th one. We didn't analyze it. So 18 and lesson 1. So this is untrue. So all of this is a fucking lie. I don't understand, really. No one needs him anymore, Lorcan. But this is untrue. So people do need the dead god Lorcan. Maybe. Hrol and his knights in the Rimanada numbered 18 less than 1. Interesting. So this could be... Speaking of Riemann? I don't know. Yeah, hang on a second. Master Nelth, have you seen Fudge Muppet's Ideal Skyrim video? And if so, do you have any thoughts? Ideal Skyrim. Let me see. I might not have. Ideal Skyrim. Probably not. The Ideal Skyrim, changing the lore and improving the settings. I have not seen this, nor have I seen our Ideal Elder Scrolls 6. I should see them in the future, but I have not. But I might look into this one. I'm curious about this one now. Curious if they actually give insight on some things. When she tells him he won't find the last monster, she means he will not destroy the last part of himself that is holding him back from true godhood. Let me unpack that. let me unpack this. All right, I'm moving my thing to this screen so now I can see you here. When she tells him he won't find the last monster, she means he will not destroy the last part of himself that is holding him back from true godhood. So he won't ever become a true god because there is a part of himself that he cannot slay to truly become God, I guess. There's a part of him that isn't God, and there's no way he can cut it off. His left hand, well, again, this is just like, this hand is not godly, but the rest of me is, and I cannot chop off this hand. It sticks to me like a fucking... I can't think of anything. Like a parasite or something. I don't know. But yeah, so that might be it. The mortal part of him still exists and sticks to him like a parasite or a leech. A leech might be a better idea. So yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. Like a barnacle. Yeah, like a barnacle. I actually worked on a backstory for one of my Skyrim characters. I made it so he was in need, born there in early First Era, and he was turned into a vampire by an alien worshiper of Molag Bal. Nice. My brain hurts from trying to get my head around this. Oh yeah, I know. It's a lot. I'm working on a rewrite of sorts of Elder Scrolls post-Morrowind. So far, I have 4th Era timelines and factions of Tamriel after the Oblivion Crisis. Got it. The flawed mortal part that he is unwilling to part with. So not he can't get rid of it, but maybe it's a part that he's scared to let go. It's or both. It can be fucking both. In this double entendre story, it can be both. The lessons take a few reads. Absolutely. I do agree with that. I agree, mommy of kittens. That's a funny thing to type out. That's a funny thing to type out. But yeah. My birthday's in 2 days. Well, happy birthday, man. From me and Neloth and Vivec, we wish you happy birthday. But yeah. I attended a Christian college a few years ago, and in that time I took several biblical survey courses. You are explaining these lessons with more interest and heart than any of those professors did. Eh? I also used to be very devout in Catholicism, so, you know. Is definitely open to interpretation. Yeah. I do think that it can be both. It can be like, it's a part that he can't get rid of. I don't know. No, I don't feel like it can be. Well, I think the unwilling to part. I think it just depends on who you are and how you view Vivec. If you fucking hate Vivec, then maybe he can't get rid of it might be more your style. But if you like Vivec and want him to be humanized, then the idea that he's unwilling to part with it, he's scared to let go, might appeal to you more. Maybe. I don't fucking know. The lessons are heavily inspired by the Gospel of John and Book of Revelations. The prose is so similar, and they use a lot of the same metaphors. Honestly, while I'm not religious anymore, I think I might read my Bible. I think I might read the Book of Revelations, because there is stuff like that I am curious that I want to read. Because I'm interested in like some of like the wording behind it, because it interests me, especially from Fallout 3. Whenever you have that Bible quote in Fallout 3 that says Revelation 21:6, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give a thirst to him that is the waters of life freely, or something along those lines. And that is the only Bible quote I know, and it's only because of Fallout 3. But yeah. But yeah, maybe the thing he can't part with is his ego. That is also something too. But yeah, I think that we have reached the end. This is the end of the stream. We have been going on for 3 hours and basically 10 minutes. This has been one hell of a ride. Yeah, this has been one hell of a ride. And I've learned a lot more. Like, this is actually, I didn't realize how much of a story this is and how it's all leading to the Battle of Red Mountain and how the Hortator, Nerevar Induril, is basically the prodigal son in a sense, the basically I don't know, like the he's like a student of Vivec that's being groomed for a position to be champion and basically the savior to fight back against the Sharmat and the Nords. I never really knew how much of a story this was, and it's very interesting. And this is shit I would never have been able to comprehend 2 years ago, even a year ago, if I'm being honest. So yeah, I really enjoyed this a lot. We survived the first half, and now we have a second half, and holy fuck. Holy shit, 3 hours, and we're only halfway through. Damn. This is fun. My brain is dripping out of my ears, but I had a good time. Hell yeah, I did too. He can't part with his fear. Vivec feels fear when he goes to... He can't part with his fear because Vivec feels fear when he goes to the provisional house for the first time. How did the Dunmer perceive this? Fuck if I know. Brother, I have no fucking clue. A year after I finish reading the 36 Lessons of Vivec, maybe I'll have an answer. I will say, right after this, I am going to play ESO because my character is an Arcanist that has 2 swords. I think I'm going to change them to be 2 axes now. Use the axe to pierce heaven through violence. I like that. So yeah. It's easier to take my finals than it is to read this. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to end this. I'm going to take a goddamn breather, chill out for a bit, maybe get some more recording done for my video about the giants of Skyrim. And yeah. Wait, I want to read this last one. The island that the Book of Revelations was written has a lot of psychedelic mushrooms. I'll have to look at that. But yeah. So, that is everything. Oh god, can I even do my outro? I'm so tired. I don't even know if I could do it. If you like the stream, make sure to like the stream, like the subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed, and like the bell notification down below so you can be updated on future videos, and you can be updated on future live streams so we can do stuff like this. This would be fun. Doing live streams where we analyze the lore of the Elder Scrolls, reading the more esoteric stuff. Hell, maybe I could read... I've already read the Remanada, even though it's not that long, and I've already watched Fudge Muppets video where they expand on it. Maybe we could do Mankar Cameron stuff, that one book where fucking Cyrus the Red Guard meets Vivec. That could be pretty cool. So yeah, make sure to like that bell notification so you can see that stuff. And I will see you whenever the fuck I decide to upload or stream again. House Telvanni be with you. And remember, the ending of the words is Om Sivi. And also, well, hang on a second. Make sure to pierce heaven through violence. And remember, the ending of the words is Om Sivi.